Greetings and welcome to the latest edition of Yeah, I've Played. I'm Matt Hall, and
I'm Jordan Hill.
today we are discussing a game that we both, in fact, did play.
It
is the 2013 classic, the 10th anniversary.
The 90s, 2022.
By the time this gets published,
That's true.
it'll be the 10th anniversary celebration of Quantic Dream's classic game, Beyond Two Souls. We'll get into the full plot of the game, and of course, I'd say don't watch this if you don't want spoilers, because that's what the show is. But according to the Steam page, Beyond Two Souls is a unique psychological action thriller delivered by A-list Hollywood performances by Elliot Page and Willem Dafoe. Beyond Two Souls takes you on a thrilling journey across the globe as you play out the remarkable life of Jodie Holmes. Ooh. And while we'll get into the full nature of the relationship, Jodie is linked to some sort of entity, and you do kind of swap back and forth between controlling Jodie and controlling the entity. And that's the gist of it, but we'll get into more of the details as we go in. Originally released for the PS3 back in 2013, this game eventually saw ports on the PS4 and PC. It was a timed exclusive on the Epic Games Store, along with some of the other Quantic Dream games, but now you can get it on Steam, and that's how we both played it, I believe.
That is how I played it, indeed. I got it for sale.
So as usual, we're going to break down different aspects of the game, controls, graphics, gameplay, story, and we're going to talk about our experiences. This is a game with a lot of branching paths, and
yeah, I'm excited to see what you did.
I'm curious some of the choices you made, because
some of mine had low percentages.
Yeah, some of mine did too.
It's like 17% of other players, and I was like, ooh.
Some of mine made me feel like I was maybe being a bbad person.
Some of them I was definitely being a bad person.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted to see how much chaos I could cause. Why? I don't know.
There was a weird desire where you're like, it's kind of the idea where like, what if you could be invisible for a day? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to kind of play with that idea a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
Decided I didn't get to spy on anybody.
No, I didn't install any of the toilet cams that I bought. No. Anyway, first thing we'll discuss is the graphics and presentation. Overall, what do you think?
It was good. For 2013, it was really good, I thought. I mean, like, when did I'm going to try to not talk about it too much or else I'll get them confused, but when did Quantum Break come out?
I believe that's a 2016 game.
I thought so too, yeah. That only looks like
launch title for the Xbox One.
Yeah, I'd say that only looks like a little bit better than this does. Or about the same, you know what I mean?
Do you need to be a part of this video, Sluggo?
What's up, Slugman?
Yeah, so, you know, prior to this, we played Heavy Rain, which I do want to kind of contrast and compare those a little bit later, but...
Yeah, for sure, especially with like the gameplay mechanics and stuff. I feel like there's like...
But graphically, I thought Heavy Rain looked great.
Yeah, it definitely didn't look bad. When was that, 2009?
I think that was 2010.
2010? Oh, okay.
Maybe 2009, but it was right in that pocket there. And then graphically, this, like, I mean, there were some shots that looked really good.
There were some like borderline photorealistic moments.
Yeah.
It like kind of gave me LA Noire vibes a little bit with like clearly they put a lot of time and effort into like the tracking and like the face capturing and stuff like that, the motion cap.
Yeah.
For all the actors and stuff. It looked really, really good sometimes.
Yeah. Crazy that it's 10 years old.
Yeah, and there are games being released right now that look like that. And they're like, look how it's incredible. The new 2K, 4K graphics, 6K.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, I thought the presentation was solid. It's hard to talk about without getting directly into the controls. I want to hold off on that because I think that's a whole other
I think that's a
huge thing.
If we have similar opinions on it.
I think they did a really good job at trying to capture that fine line between gameplay and cinematic presentation of the visuals. You know, because I know that's what they want to do is they want to make movies that are games and games that are movies. Just marry that idea in a way that is, you know, kind of unprecedented, you know, from going back to their work with their earlier games and stuff. Like, they were really pushing that in a way that I don't think anyone else had with as much success. So, I mean, it looked really good. I never got, like, the sort of like uncanny valley feeling you get sometimes when you see like the...
No, there was never any moment where I was like, this is too close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I felt like with the cinematography or whatever you just said, whatever the fuck just came out of your mouth. A lot of like, just like they did a good job of blending it almost seamlessly, where like a lot of the angles that you'd see in cutscenes and stuff were then the angles that were used while you're kind of exploring and walking around.
Yeah.
And they used fixed camera angles a lot of the time that you could kind of move a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could like pivot.
And it was definitely awkward a handful of times, but I did like even there'd be like you're walking along the side of the road, or you're like in a car or on a motorcycle, and you're controlling it, but suddenly the camera pans from here, like you're the subject, cameras are here behind you. Suddenly it's over here. You know what I mean? It's a big wide angle shot from a distance of you kind of walking along the side, or then it goes aerial and shit, which they do I think in Grand Theft Auto. You can do that. You can hold like cinematic view while you're driving
Yes,
around.
I've been playing Red Dead 2, and you can like hold it for cinematic view. I think the left stick, and like I did it once, and every time I try to do it since then, it like doesn't work. I'm like, what am I? Am I just not like?
Am I doing it wrong?
I don't really understand.
Right.
I haven't played a GTA game since 3.
That's a good one.
I didn't really get very far.
I don't think they introduced that until 4. I think it was 4 and 5 that was introduced in. So,
well,
anyways, that's a different game.
I also think they did a really good job with capturing Jodie's face like throughout the ages. And you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
The various,
like as she grew.
I mean, from generations past. No, like as a kid, it looked like a kid, and it looked like the same character, and I think it was a good like. I mean, because you see Jodie depending on your choices in a lot of different situations, and it always like had the same soul. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it always seemed like the same person. I get exactly what you're saying. And like there's a chance to have like you either go the option of like The Irishman. Did you see that movie?
Yep.
You either go that
Well,
direction.
I haven't finished it, but I've seen it.
Where they like de-age somebody and it looks fucking like comical, you know what I mean?
It's upsetting because there's like a really great roundtable discussion with Scorsese and all the actors from that film.
Yeah.
I think that I think Netflix put it out, or maybe it was like Esquire or something, but like it's on YouTube, and it was like
GQ.
it was just so cool like watching them all like
Talk about
sit and like and be casual. But they were like really trying to sell the de-aging, like, and it's like are you guys like on right now, or do you really think it's good because you're older? I don't know.
I was like, hey, it could either be an age thing, or it could be like they all have invested in whatever, you know what I mean, company created that software, you know?
Yeah.
So they're all like, oh, it looks so good, but it doesn't. Like, it looks like Beowulf. Remember the Beowulf movie that came out in like 2008?
It's hard though, because like I'll sometimes watch archival footage of people discussing old games, and there'll be like non-gamers, you know, like like even very recently, I was listening to a radio show where one of the people from Rockstar was bringing a preview copy of GTA 5 back in early 2013,
Right.
and people, their hosts were like, "Oh my god, this is like that's the game. This looks real. This is incredible." And it's like, I think GTA 5 looks good, but it still has like a stylized.
It's very
gamey.
It's not supposed to look real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's supposed to look like GTA. GTA has like that stylized. It's a little cartoonish, but not quite. You know what I mean?
I sometimes kind of wonder if like being overexposed to like video games like kind of like desensitizes you, and like maybe you're someone who doesn't see that stuff very often, you could be more easily fooled, because it does seem like in decades past people were like, what, that's not real, which it seems crazy to me, because like don't you know what reality looks like compared to
I feel like people just don't pay a lot of attention.
I don't.
You know what I
maybe.
mean?
Yeah, they could
just people just aren't. I don't think people. I think most people aren't very aware. In general, I mean, as a blanket statement.
Yeah,
they're just not super aware.
Yes, yes. That's why
No, but I mean,
magicians are so popular.
Yeah, they think it's great. Oh my god, how do you do that?
Sleight of hand.
But no, I think for a lot of people, it's like you look at someone like our parents' generation. They went from the last video game my dad played alone was like Madden 95 on the Super Nintendo. And then the next game that he played was Halo on the Xbox. You know what I mean? And he was like, what the fuck's going on? You know, like, he couldn't... It was very overwhelming for him. So, like, I get that perspective as someone who doesn't play video games. You see that and you'll be blown away. So I think it's more just... I don't think it's overexposure. I think it's just, like... We know that there's games like this.
Right.
That came out 9 years ago, that look... Or 10 years ago, that look fucking better than, you know, GTA 5.
Yeah, I mean... Now I'm struggling to remember what year it came out, but even like... Oh, never mind.
Okay.
As I'm saying, I'm thinking of like 10 games where it's like, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of games that look like incredible from like 10 to 15 years ago. I don't know how they do it.
No, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's really when they started breaking into it, was around this period, because I think LA Noire was the first one to really get like the mocap down.
Yeah.
And have it be like, which was Rockstar, you know what I mean? And they did a good job. And even that game has kind of like a stylized look to it that feels more gamey.
I've still never played it. I have it, but I just haven't gotten into it.
It's worth it. It's a really fun one.
It seems really great.
A lot of Uncanny Valley in that game.
Yeah, I've watched clips.
Yeah.
I've watched clips. I go, oh, that's a little weird. But also, I kind of love that kind of stuff.
It's good.
It's like watching animatronics. I don't know. I get like a weird kick out of it.
They get hard.
So I want to discuss the controls and mechanics of the game, like the overall gameplay. Going back to Heavy Rain, which is their first game where I think they really started to nail it, because their prior games, they have two games for that. They have Omicron
and Indigo Prophecy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Omicron,
Perseid.
the Nomad Soul. It's the David Bowie game.
Yep. Yeah, where he did the whole soundtrack to it. Yeah, I watched like a clip of that, just like some like footage of it, and that fucking looks wild.
I haven't gotten very far into it. It's very dense and
it's like a weird cyberpunk kind of thing.
Yeah, it's weird. And then their other game, Indigo Prophecy or Fahrenheit, depending on which region you're in, attempted to do kind of the cinematic thing, but the QTEs are so awkward. They hadn't really like nailed it. And I'm trying to think back, like it might have even predated Shenmue. Shenmue was the first game I remember playing that had QTEs that are pretty much like boop boop boop, press the button. You know, it's like press B or press A or X, and it's just like it just comes up and you know to press it.
I can't think of any like early games that use QTEs that I played. It was like probably one of the first ones was like Onimusha or whatever, and fucking Asura's Wrath.
I think that came out 2001.
Yeah,
Onimusha.
Asura's Wrath, which I think is like 2006 or something. But.
So, and I think Shenmue was 99. I think it was around the launch of the Dreamcast, but I thought Heavy Rain worked really well, where I never was confused about what to do.
Yeah, there's a couple moments where it was like, if I ever fucked up in Heavy Rain, it was because I forgot the mechanic they told me earlier. Because there's a couple things where it's like, when you see the square, make sure you hold it, or when you see the circle, you know what I mean?
Yes, like square to hold, or circle to press repeatedly, or something.
And like, so I'd forget that occasionally, but it was never like, that's my fault. You know what I mean? That's not like, I didn't think that was a bad part of the game, whereas in this game, it was just like...
This game was constantly introducing new mechanics.
Yeah.
Like, so, beyond the regular QTEs, there's also a lot of stuff where you have to use the two control sticks to do different things. And in the very first mission, where you like really, first really get deeper into the game, I was lost. I had no fucking clue what was going on. Like, and I feel like the game didn't really even give a lot of like proper context on what you were supposed to do sometimes.
It kind of just threw you right in, and which was a little bit like, I kind of like that in some games, but in a game where there's a bunch of like really unique mechanics, you know what I mean?
And it's time sensitive usually.
Yeah, it felt kind of rushed a little bit. It felt like they did just kind of like drop you in, like, fucking, I don't know, oops, we forgot the tutorial. You know what I mean?
Whereas like Heavy Rain opened up with a tutorial section where Ethan Mars is getting ready for his day, and I couldn't fault anyone for playing the first 20 minutes of that game and just putting it down.
Yeah, because that's fucking the most boring thing.
Yeah, so I understand why they maybe would go, all right, we gotta fucking start off with a little more action than this, because Jesus Christ, just watching some middle-aged white guy fucking brush his teeth
and set plates down on a table
and piss.
and put off doing work.
I worked.
I know. You fucking...
I did my
You're a
big
serial
sketch
killer.
of the
Who was
fucking...
playing a video game and said, I think I'll do some work.
God, I was looking at the Quest like online store the other day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at the game genres, and like the top one is like job simulator, and I just got this like fucking sick feeling.
I was doing something similar, and it showed me one where it was like line cook simulator, like something to that extent, where it was just like you're just working on line, you know what I mean? It's like there's saute pans in front of you, and it kind of was just like
I go in the bathroom and do a bump,
like go cry in the walk-in cooler, fuck one of the waitresses in that behind the dumpster.
Jesus
like,
Christ,
you can't. No, I'm like, don't. Why would? I don't understand why anyone who does it would want to do it. Like I get it for like the only thing I can understand it for is like job training applications.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Otherwise, it's like, why are you fucking doing a job for fun?
It feels very dystopian.
Mm-hmm. So whether it's when you're just controlling the entity that's linked to you, or whether you're controlling Jodie, it's like the fight scenes with Jodie, I fucking hated all of them because it was really hard to anticipate whether like, because there'd be moments where like somebody's punching at you, and so like my instinct is like duck, you know what I mean, or like block.
Yeah.
But then sometimes the move to do, because you're like a trained fighter or whatever, is to like move into it and like knock the blow away.
Which is entirely dependent on what the character is thinking, and you don't know that.
I like tried to like think like maybe it's where her momentum is kind of carrying her in every moment, so I started trying to do that.
That's what it's supposed to be.
But it's not always.
The mechanic is, in combat, is wherever Jodie is moving toward, you're supposed to follow through on that motion.
But that's not always clear.
It's not always clear, and I would say it's more often than not clear.
Yeah.
And in a game like this where you have so much choice and so much freedom, in the fights, if I got a punch coming at me, I should be able to duck down, pull back, or maybe I fuck up, I go into it.
Yeah.
Maybe going into it's the wrong choice,
right?
Because I'm literally moving into a punch. But also sometimes you move into the punch, and it there. I mean, I got footage I can show here where I don't know how you're supposed to know what was going on.
I really could. I mean, I want to go back and try to do some of it again to see if I like. Maybe if I just wasn't paying enough attention, but I feel like even I don't know. It was just so fucking frustrating.
No.
Just having to like because.
No,
so many
don't
moments,
do it again.
No, don't do it again. But so many moments, like I'd get, if somebody's swinging a baseball bat at me, I'm not putting up my arm. You know what I mean? I will, just to like defend myself, but if I do that, I'm also going backwards.
But that's the thing, so Jodie...
I'm going to put up my arm and go backwards, but instead her move is go into it to like grab it, knock it out of the way or whatever, you know what I mean? And that's not fucking... She's also just doing this, so you're like, I don't know where her momentum's headed.
That's the most frustrating part for me was that like sometimes she goes into a hit and sometimes she doesn't, and there is not always a clear visual indication.
No.
And the thing is, if she can sometimes go into a hit, then you should always be able to choose that.
Yeah, it should be you could dodge it or attack.
There should be a little arrow on the screen that says push down, push left, push right,
the way
which is what they do in Heavy Rain.
Or they could have even done something simple like it goes to black and white in those slow-mo moments.
Yeah.
Make one side of the screen glow a little more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's so many
there could
simple
be any
things
visual
you could
indication
do.
other than it's supposed to be like where she's moving, but she's not always
moving.
In Heavy Rain, they use on-screen directional inputs.
It's just if
in
it's
their
up or
next
down,
game in Detroit,
they do.
They also use on-screen directional inputs because I think they fucked this game up.
I think they realized that was not the. It had the potential to be cool. That
like the no HUD kind of thing.
Yeah, but it didn't work.
It needed some, and even if it was like motion blur lines or something, where it's like
that's what I'm saying is you could still have no HUD. It could be unintrusive.
There was not repeatedly there was no thing telling me what to do, and then when you were controlling the entity, there were times where you had to move the control sticks.
There's really
it's like
two or I think there's three like 3 ways you can fight off enemies as the entity.
Right.
And there's nothing really to indicate which of those 3 things you had to do.
Right. Sometimes you like move the sticks together. Sometimes you like pull them down and let go.
Sometimes you pull them apart. But the only one that was ever clear was the one that you had to push together because I would go like far to the right and left of it.
Yeah.
But the other 2, they would just sit on the thing.
Yeah. And I think they were sometimes color coded, but they didn't always seem.
The color coding was only, I feel like, to tell you when you were like on the right thing.
Yeah, it was confusing.
I mean?
It was very confusing, which it just seems so crazy that it would be so confusing because they already did it great.
Because they already did it well, yeah. And like, I don't think anybody had. I mean, like, I just said like the couple tiny complaints I had about it because I really don't think there are any other complaints because. And that it's not even a complaint. It's just me having a bad memory of not remembering which mechanic is indicated by the shapes, but even then they give you a shape that's like associated with the mechanic.
It's consistent.
Yes, it's not like they fuck it up.
It always
and they switch
means
it
the
around.
same thing. And this game,
it's just me
every
being an
few
idiot.
chapters there was like a new thing that didn't always come back. Like there was later you're like possessing people or you're like looking at their memories, and sometimes you like there's all sorts of shit. The vehicular stuff was also very awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, we can get into that kind of more case by case, things about the presentation and controls and everything, but
yeah. You also just didn't like move around the smoothest when you're just walking kind of. It was like borderline tank. It felt very tanky, but after playing Silent Hill 1 and 2, I know it's not like literally tank controls, but
you
I
feel
found myself like
the
getting,
fucking tank.
I found myself getting caught in doorways a bunch, like a fucking idiot, just like slamming my shoulders off the fucking frame.
I feel like in order to maintain like this like super photorealistic smoothness on the motion, they had you move at this like glacial pace, and it was not very fluid in terms of like navigation, and that was something that.
That's kind of in Heavy Rain too.
Yeah, I felt in Heavy Rain a little bit, but we'll eventually cover Detroit Become Human. Totally figured it out. It's their best game.
Mm-hmm. I've heard really great. I'm fucking super stoked to play it.
It's so good. If you like their unique brand of bullshit, which I really do.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, entertaining.
There was definitely a couple moments in here where I was kind of like, what the fuck are we doing here? You know what I mean? But at the same time, I was like, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not skipping this.
And even in Detroit, like, there's so many scenes. It's like, that's the scene from Heavy Rain. That's the scene from Beyond Two Souls. Like,
there were that. I also recognized a couple actors in this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was in the very like opening in the prologue, the sheriff is the pervert from Heavy Rain. Not the old pervert, but the guy from the club.
The great ass guy.
He's got a great ass. Yeah. He's the
Rico or something?
Yeah.
Like he has a...
I can't remember his fucking name. It is like Rico something though, I think. But he's the sheriff in the prologue.
Oh my god, I didn't put that together.
He was looking at you and I was like, what the... He has the same goatee. That was the giveaway.
Mm-hmm. I just didn't think about it. Wow, that went over my head.
Same fucking guy, yeah.
That's wild. I think... I could be wrong. If it's the same actor, strike me dead if this is wrong. I think that's also the guy that did all the voices of all the black characters in Heavy Rain.
We looked it up, and that was the case.
Okay.
Not all of them, but he did the guy in the cemetery.
He did the Gravedigger.
He did the Gravedigger. I mean, there might have actually been like 2 black characters in Heavy Rain, but
yeah. I feel like he did another black guy, and he's definitely doing like his Al Jolson tribute in that role, and I just don't understand.
I don't understand why they didn't get anybody else to fucking do the voice.
I don't want to say that there is no, there's never any scenario where a white guy can't play a black guy or like a straight person can't play a trans person. I know it's a very like sensitive issue. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that's never okay.
Yeah.
Because it feels like that's not a decision I want to make.
You know what I mean? Even the voice.
I don't want to say never, but in that role specifically,
I wouldn't have done it.
I did find it offensive.
I would have asked if it's going to be a caricature. Get someone of that race to do the caricature.
It feels super racist.
Like if it's just like
the only reason I give it a pass is because they're French. I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's different.
I don't know if it is. Like say I'm just voicing a character and I'm doing this voice, and then the character's black. Mm-hmm. I think not a big deal. If
Yeah.
I'm just talking like this, you're just like, whatever. But I'm not going to do it.
I'm holding back so hard because I want to do the black guy voice. No,
like,
it's like, I will play the clip right here.
Oh, youngin'. That one I knew well.
You knew John Shepard?
I've worked this graveyard nearly all my life. I remember what happened. It was in 77. October, I think.
It's so insane.
it's like, it's very...
It's one of the most insane
like,
parts of the
to learn
game.
that's a white guy. You're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's a weird choice. It's a weird choice.
Yeah, it was rough. But yeah, same guy. Same guy as the sheriff, is the pervert and the racist.
That's interesting. But anyway, yeah, so the movement kind of
It's just
stiff,
not
kind of
great,
slow.
yeah.
Also, it's the same thing, honestly, that bothers me in Red Dead 2. And I think in some of the other... I think like GTA 5, I know I played like a... You know... I think I played like half the opening bank heist mission. Like
Right.
it started right, and you like switch between everybody.
Yeah, you literally have to play as all three people.
Yeah,
or two of the people.
I couldn't beat that. I put that game down and said, you know what? I just don't care. Maybe one day I'll get into it. But I feel like the controls in those games, like you're so slow.
Yeah, there are definitely moments, and I mean, you have to. There's little things that they do where it's weird. Rockstar. We're gonna get into something else. Rockstar does this weird thing with the Grand Theft Auto games where they're things that like started out as exploits that they've kept in the game because it's just become part of it. Whereas like in the earlier games, it's always hold down A to sprint. But if you tapped A quickly, it was like a weird workaround where like you'd just go faster because it would keep starting the sprint animation. And then they introduced that in every other game as just the way to sprint or sprint run or sprint. You know what I mean? Run is hold down A, sprint is like to tap A repeatedly.
I think it's like that in Max Payne.
Which is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
So that could have been it. Or
regardless,
you could have just sucked at the fucking game.
I also really, there were many times where I go, she should sprint right now.
Yeah.
And sometimes she did.
She did, which was
She did on
awkward.
the ranch.
I just kind of wish there was like a button.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just increase walk speed a little bit.
Yeah. It doesn't. I don't even have to sprint. Can I
No.
just jog? You know what I mean? Can I walk?
Yeah, I just pick it up
Can
a
I
little
walk
bit.
or like walk with a little bit of purpose? You know what I mean?
No.
No, but
No,
yeah,
you can't.
yeah, it was like on the ranch for whatever reason she like jogged from place to place, but only outside. You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
there's like there's like an apocalyptic scenario happening, and she's like, "I'll get to the door." You're like, fucking run.
I will say, you know, overall, the controls felt very like amateur and unfinished.
Yeah.
Especially just in
the fuck,
contrast
guys?
to the previous game.
Yeah, it's like if I hadn't played Heavy Rain, I assumed Heavy Rain came out after this game, and then I
It feels much more
literally looked at
finished.
it all. It like looks better.
Yeah.
Beyond Two Souls looks better than Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Just visually is better looking. But
Yeah.
gameplay wise, like mechanics, Heavy Rain's a better game.
Yeah.
Just
By
period.
a
Just
lot.
period. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this goes back to they were trying to do some stuff that is much more similar to what they did in Fahrenheit or
Okay.
Indigo Prophecy, and I think there's like, you know, we shelved those ideas. Let's revisit them, and they try to make it a little more interactive. You know?
Yeah, they definitely did. I also fucking, before I forget about it, because it just popped back into my mind, the switching cover, the whole cover mechanics, I hated that. I hated it.
Yeah.
It worked really well sometimes.
Yeah.
And other times, I felt like I felt like an idiot. I
Yeah.
felt like I was a monkey who was like, how do I, you know what I mean? Oh, oh. You know, like I can't fucking, I was like, why am I not just,
Yeah.
you'd be like, oh, hold A, no. Hold it, no. You know what I mean? I'm like, why can't I?
The stealth and all of the cover stuff also made no sense. There were times where I was like, I'm in the line of sight of these
He's
guys,
looking right at me, yeah.
and it's not doing anything. I feel like they went too hard into trying to make a traditional game while still holding on really hard to the non-traditional cinematic stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
this feels
it's
like
an abomination.
it feels It feels like growing pains. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It feels kind of like you said, it feels like they were like, oh, hey, let's try to revisit these ideas because now we know more, so maybe we'll do them better. And then they were like, no, we didn't. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm glad they rescinded.
It's like, oh, maybe I'll learn how to play guitar this time. Nope.
I'm glad they rescinded it for their following game, and I am super stoked for whenever it comes out, their Star Wars game, which is still so crazy to me that they're developing one.
That is going to be really cool, I think. I feel like I heard that Force Unleashed or whatever was a good game. Mm-hmm. Or I think it was Force Unleashed. I don't know. Yeah, the one where you're like the red-haired kid. Whatever that was.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Whatever that
Maybe
one
it's
was.
not.
I don't think it's Force Unleashed.
No, I think you're right.
I think it's Jedi Fallen Order. I
but
think
Force Unleashed is also supposed to be a good game.
Yeah, I think that was for like the Wii and stuff.
Yeah, I think that game is like 15 years old.
Yeah. But like Jedi Fallen Order, that's like, I think a lot of people think like the first good Star Wars game to come out in a while. Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited to see another good Star Wars game. Everybody wants like another Knights of the Old Republic, and I'm just like, fucking get over it. But I don't know. I think this is gonna be good.
Yeah. I want to mention briefly as we talk about the all the stuff prior to the story, just the sound. I mean, there's not a ton to say about it really. I mean,
it's good.
It's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
Good score. I mean, good
Like when
overall.
Jodie plays guitar. That was great. Did you play the guitar as Jodie at any point or no? She fucking shreds for a minute, dude.
No.
She gives me a little willy-wah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I played guitar as Jodie.
Yeah.
In her little
in her little room.
in her lab rat apartment.
Yeah, in her little experimental chamber.
No, I don't think I picked up the guitar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I fucking shredded, dude.
I thought they did, because here's the thing. It's like, the score has to maintain momentum and feeling as the player's fucking around.
Yeah.
And I think they did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of dipped into like some more heartfelt stuff in this one, and they really kind of shut up out there. They really kind of hit like a wide range of emotions. There's some scary stuff. There's some sweet stuff. There's like some
heart-wrenching stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like they did a great job with there was no like themes from the game that I like remember.
No, I couldn't like tell you a single song that stood out to me, but I also feel like that's like not a bad thing either. You know
No,
what I mean? Because the other reality is you're like, that was fucking horrible. You know what I mean? So
it was just like, it was all good. It was all serving what was going on, and I also thought just good capture of the performances in general. Like none of the line reads or any of the dialogue felt stilted.
Oh no, well directed, and I mean you're also working with like fucking Elliot Page and Willem Dafoe, who are like career actors. You know what I mean? Who like Elliot Page that's been doing it since Trailer Park Boys,
and
when they were like 10 maybe, and Willem Dafoe's been an actor.
Trailer Park Boys, really?
Elliot Page was
I
on Trailer
forgot
Park Boys.
about that. Yeah.
It's Mr. Leahy's daughter.
Yeah. Cole. I don't know.
Sprouse.
Did you ever watch Another World, the Cosby spinoff?
No, I never watched the
Oh,
Cosby
really?
Show either. No.
Okay.
Sorry. I watched Family Matters and I watched a little bit of The Jeffersons. Those are the only two black family comedies I've watched.
Okay. Well, it's Kadeem Hardison. He was also in White Man Can't Jump.
Oh, I've seen White Man Can't Jump.
Okay.
Okay.
And he played Dwayne Wayne in Another World, which I was like, I fucking know this guy. And I could not picture. I mean, he looks a lot different than he did, 30 years prior.
In the early 90s.
But I was just like, oh, damn. Like, they really went and got, like...
Real actors.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. American actors. Because everyone in Heavy Rain
is a real actor
as well. Just because they're French doesn't mean they're not real. Okay, you gotta stop saying that.
No, Cole's my favorite fucking character in this game, though.
He's sympathetic.
Cole was the heart of this game. You know what I mean? Like he was though. He was like the.
I'd really say the game is more about Cole than anyone else.
Beyond two Coles. No, he was just like he was the one constant good throughout the entire game.
Yeah, and I did like his. I just liked the role he played, where he kind of seemed like he is just doing his job, but he is trying to be a good person, even though he works for basically, evil CIA undercover project.
Who's keeping a kid in a cage so they can observe her.
All right.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm fully caffeinated. I think it's time that we
actually get into
get into the game. The game opens, as all good games do, with a prologue scene. Most good games open with a prolapse scene, but now
disgusting. I know it's real and it's fucking gross. It's horrible. Number 2 on my list of fears.
Oh God. Anyway, no. I found the way that the game started, even just like how it's like. I'm pretty sure it starts with a little timeline and it says like prologue.
Yeah,
and it's like. I thought that was a little. Because like Heavy Rain, at one point in Heavy Rain, there's the after you get through the opening area and you do the losing your child thing. there's like a montage. There's like an opening credits scene.
Yeah, there was.
And
like right after your kid gets fucking creamed by that car.
I don't remember an opening credits in this game. I feel like it just like kicked in.
I don't think so. I don't think there was an opening credits.
It just felt like a little like, oh wait, okay,
we're gonna sound like fucking idiots if there was an opening credits.
We often do on this show. So Jody, who might even be unnamed as of yet,
yeah, because you're just the woman sitting in a at a desk in a
basically young woman at a small like sheriff's office or something. Mm-hmm. It seems very rural.
Yes.
Seems like she came in damaged in some way, and he's kind of concerned, and he's like asking her like, hey, what's up? Not in like an interrogation way per se, like he's like she's wanted for a crime or anything. He's just like trying to be like, what is going on here?
Yeah, he's not accusing her of anything. He's not even like being super aggressive either. He's just like, what are you like? What's up? What's going on?
Yeah. What are you doing later?
You look hurt. You're wet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What's going on with you later? What do you have?
Why are you so wet?
Why are you so wet? Why are you playing? Stop playing.
And then CIA agents storm with the SWAT team, storm the place. They're like, the girl, where is she? And he's like, she's in the room. What are you talking about? It's just a little girl.
And suddenly he starts acting like really cautious and like he's weird about it. It's really weird the way they do it. He like walks over.
That's what. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead. You want to say it?
She's in the room.
She's sitting in the room.
And he's like, she's in there.
Yeah.
And
they're all like, you go get it.
There's a full SWAT team, like guns drawn, and I thought what they were trying to do is maybe he goes into the room and like is like, hey, everything's all right, and he kind of tricks her. Yeah. He opens the door and then is like
he does like that weird like from the side to like kind of like let someone else in ahead of you.
Right. And then gets out of the way.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they have opened the door? That shot made no sense. Like, wouldn't you want the basically, at this point, he's almost a civilian in terms of rank.
Yeah, right. No, you're right. Yeah.
Like,
compared to like a bunch of fucking CIA agents.
There's like,
fully armed.
I'm going to say easily 200 guys with guns. there's like a dozen guys
there's at
there.
Least a dozen, yeah.
And they got fucking big rifles drawn. And it's like, and they're like, it's super serious.
Yeah. They're not fucking around.
You don't storm that room. You don't go. You don't. Like it made no sense.
No, it was a really weird scene.
I opened it.
And then it cuts away, and who is it that's coming through the door? Is it fucking or coming through the broken glass? It cuts to, it fades to black right there, and then it cuts back to the police station. All the windows are broken.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe comes in.
It is Willem Dafoe, yes.
Yeah, and he's like, oh my god. And it's a massacre.
Yeah, everybody's dead, except great ass sheriff.
Yeah.
Still there.
And he's just like, oh.
Like he just saw something.
Yeah.
That's the
prologue.
That's the prologue.
And then you're a child.
And then you're a fucking baby. Then you're in a womb.
Yeah, so the first chapter where you're really doing anything is called The Experiment. And you have Jody, she's like in her room. They're like, hey, it's time to go. Let's, you know, and you gotta like go in. You go to this little table. I'm pretty sure this is where you walk through the halls a little bit.
Yeah, if you putter around a little bit, Cole will yell at you.
Yeah.
Not like yell at you, but he's like, what are you doing, Jody?
Yeah.
Like, hurry up.
Cole like pulls you out of your room, and you're going through the halls.
He drags you by your fucking arm. Like,
there's a guy like, hey, I'm babysitting duty, go ahead. And, you know, people are razzing him. But you go into a room, there's like two rooms divided by a wall.
Yeah.
And there's observational glass on the side.
Yeah. And this is like the setup for like real experiments they've done that obviously went nowhere, but it's like it's a room set up for experiments to like test psychic abilities, I guess.
Yeah, they put like a brain monitor crown on her.
Crown, yeah.
Yeah, like a little princess.
Little prince of my princess.
And you have a test subject on the other side, and she is, selecting cards, and they're like, Jody, which card? And she's doing it, and
she's fucking nailing it.
And what you realize is, like, I think you press like Y, and you become Aiden, who is like the entity that's attached to her. You go over.
Look at the card.
Yep.
Report
Come back. So the first time I did this, I did it pretty straight. Because I played the opening of this game by myself, and then I was like, wow, we gotta do this on the show. This is too crazy.
I did the card part straight.
Kathleen is the test.
Oh, is the woman in the other room?
On the other side.
I just said the terrorized woman is what I named her by the end of it.
Yeah. So like, what did you do here? I mean, you're asked to do a series of experiments, and it culminates in them asking you to like knock something over.
Yeah, and eventually they go, "Can you move something in the other room?"
Right.
Yeah, like just move anything. So I went in, and I believe there was like a bunch of like toy blocks. You know what I mean? With like letters on them. Knocked those over on the desk, and she was like, "Oh, what was that?" And I was like, "Heh." And so I went over, and there's a bunch of papers next to her too. Knocked all the papers off the desk, and she starts screaming. The lady starts like screaming, and she's like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And then I go over and I knock the chair over. And then they're like, "Jody, stop. Okay, that's enough, Jody. You know what I mean? It's good." And then I go.
And that's where I stopped.
Nope.
The first time I played. Second time I said.
No,
the brakes are off.
Yeah, I went back. I threw everything. I started hitting the window because you can hit the window and like crack the glass and shit. I was doing all of it. I did stop though eventually because I had a rule that I established right here. But eventually, Jody yells for you to stop. She yells, "Aiden, stop!" And that's when I stopped. When Jody said to stop, I stopped.
Okay.
And then you get they're like, "Jody, you can't." You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's basically the scene.
Yeah, that's basically the scene. Yeah. The weird part... Okay, you go ahead, sorry.
Well, I went in, and I started exploring the observation room, and I possessed one of the scientists.
Oh, yeah?
And I start walking, and then Cole is like, hey, man, what are you doing? And he, like, grabs my arm. And if Aiden is, like, possessing a person, if they get touched...
He fucking...
Aiden gets pushed out of the body.
Yeah. That's kind of cool that they introduced that mechanic this early on.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even... I like went over into the room with I keep wanting to say Norman Osborn because I think Norman Jaden.
Oh, in my notes, it's Green Goblin. It's
it's Lighthouse Attendant.
Yeah. She meets Green Goblin for the first time, and
she meets Green Goblin.
I don't fucking know what his character's name is.
No, but Willem Dafoe. Norman Osborn. I'm a bit of a scientist myself. Fucking... No, I just kind of listened to them for a minute, and they were just kind of observed, but then went right back in because I wanted to fuck with the lady pretty bad.
So you can definitely fuck with her. I'm trying to see because Nathan Dawkins.
Nathan Dawkins. Okay.
It never stuck with me.
It didn't stick with Cole. Stuck with me. Jody stuck with me.
Nathan didn't.
I don't remember the other guy. I don't remember the CIA dick's name who's with you the whole time. Do you? It's Clayton. Something Clayton. Is it Ryan? It's Ryan Clayton. Ryan Clayton. We got there.
I should know because, well, body count. No,
not iced tea, baby.
Sometimes it's hard for me to go, oh, it's Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
It's not Nathan Dawkins. You know?
No, I hear you.
With Elliot Page, I go, I don't know, like fucking kid from Hard Candy. I don't.
Kid from Juno.
Kid from Juno. It's like, I don't know, like I associate so many of the roles with just like being a kid. That it's just like, oh, it's like the archetype. Like I was playing like a damaged kid.
Yeah, there is always some sort of trauma involved.
So it was not difficult for me to go, oh, Jodie.
Yeah.
You know, that's Jodie. That's able to separate, the role from the person portraying the role.
Yes.
Couldn't as well with Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe's
He's
hard.
got such a fucking look.
It's him with Steve Buscemi. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's Steve. But when you have like such a unique face, and like, even though those guys are character actors, you know what I mean? Like they play a lot of different types of roles, and they're very good at it, and they're always very good at the role. It's still always just that fucking guy to me.
Yeah.
Doing a really good job at that role.
Well, anyway, when Jodie said Iden stop, I said I'm gonna strangle Kathleen.
Oh no! It lets you go all the way to killing her.
I don't think she died.
Oh, okay, you don't kill her.
But so at the
Jesus.
I did choke her. I did choke her out.
Okay, because I was confused. So at the end of every mission, it gives you like a little breakdown of the decisions that you made.
Yeah, they're called paths.
The paths you chose. And it gives you like the percentages. Mine says stop the experiment and left Kathleen alone. Or both of the paths that I got, even though I terrorized her. So I was
you
confused.
upset her,
yeah,
but you didn't.
But I didn't choke her.
Right, so my paths were wreaked havoc and strangled Kathleen.
Oh no. I stopped the experiments and left Kathleen alone, even though I'd definitely say I wreaked havoc. I stopped just short of
I broke all the lights. I was smashing windows. I broke every possible thing I could, and I choked her out.
Hell yeah, dude. No, I didn't go that far. I stopped. This was like when I created the rule where like it happened again later a couple times, but like I didn't stop till Jodie told me to stop. You know what I mean? Like,
it felt wrong, but I was like, Jodie, fuck you.
Yeah, you're a little bit. You're a little kid. What do you fucking know?
And then, so the game can be played two ways. It can be played in order or out of order. I played it out of order because that's how it was intended to be played.
Yeah, and then I noticed you can also, if you want to it seemed like there was a fair amount of replayability. Because then you go back in and you could either do chronological or you could do remixed order.
Yeah.
Where it changes up the order on you again. Which I'm like, that would be interesting to see. Because I got this perspective, which is like the story. You know what I mean? This is how it's supposed to be laid out. But it'd be cool to see it from another perspective as well.
Yeah, because each time you play, each time you play a scene, you have a chance to have a different perspective on it based on what you've already experienced.
Yeah,
because you're seeing all these moments out of order and how they influence other things.
And it'd be cool to see if like certain characters were introduced to you without earlier context. You know what I mean? Like Ryan Clayton, maybe you would have made decisions differently. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So. Or maybe you're just a fucking hound over here.
The embassy.
I'll take it where I can get it.
Jodie is at a fancy party at an embassy and must use Iden to transcribe some documents that are hidden in a wall safe.
Yep. Pretty much it. That's the whole mission.
I found the objectives here to be very unclear.
Yes.
I found the controls to be fairly awkward. And I think it's easy for the player to feel like they failed this mission just due to how messy it is.
It was. I definitely lucked out. You know what I mean? Because it was very, very unclear. And like I went up. You go to a bathroom. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, you show up at the embassy party.
Yeah.
Fancy red dress. You feel very uncomfortable. You're there with a guy who you don't know his name yet, but that's Ryan Clayton, who winds up being a major character in the story as time goes on. Son of a bitch. Yeah, and so you go and it's like find somewhere quiet.
Yeah.
I went to the bathroom. I'm pretty sure that's the only place you can go.
Probably.
I walked around a bit, but
it just seemed like the right move.
Yeah, and there's like I don't know where you are.
There's a bunch of sheiks and stuff. So you're somewhere in the Middle East. I'd imagine.
Seems that
but
way.
You could also be like anywhere else where there's just those people visiting. I don't know, you know
it was very, and it's like
Could be Syria, could be Jordan, could be Iraq, could be the UAE. Like, there's no...
I went up and watched the band for a minute. There's like a very traditional like band like playing on all these like Middle Eastern instruments and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. Like, they stopped playing and they all like they took it over and they looked at it like, okay, you want to do the next number? And I was like, wow, they're it's like
an actual.
it's pretty well done for something that like could totally be glossed over. But the possession mechanic is introduced in the first chapter.
If you get there.
If you get there. Mm-hmm. There is nothing telling you that you can possess people. It's not like it doesn't say like...
I didn't even possess anybody in this one.
Really?
Yeah. That's one of the paths that I got was didn't use the person.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. So you know that there's a wall safe behind a portrait, I think is what you're told.
Yes, there's a wall safe behind a portrait.
In a room upstairs.
Yeah, but once you get upstairs, you realize there's like 6 rooms.
Yep.
And you don't know which room is the one.
And there's, you might find out the hard way, there's surveillance cameras.
Yes, which I actually, okay, so I'll walk you through what I did first, because clearly we did different stuff. So I went upstairs and get up there, and the first thing I did was I saw that there was like a security room, so I went right into the security room. Once you get into the security room, it's like you can either like... What?
I had such a hard time finding the security room.
It was the only one with the door open. It was the only open door.
I assumed, don't go for the open doors. You're trying to find some hidden thing. Anyway, keep going.
That's fair. I kind of was like, we're clearly in a secure place. I should find the security room first. I played a lot of Hitman. You know what I mean?
I've never successfully completed a mission in Hitman.
You don't even need to do it stealthily. You can kill everyone and still succeed.
I'm so bad at those games. I think they're a blast. But...
You don't need to be sneaky though. Like you can just.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, you can't fail a mission in Hitman, really. You just sometimes you don't get your target. You know what I mean? It's great. But anyway, so I get into the security room, and immediately it makes you look at a security thing. Like the only highlighted thing in the room is like a security monitor, and you look at that, and it's like, oh, you got to pause this. So I pause it, and then the guy's like, whoa, and he hits it again and unpauses it, like the security guy. And then it's like, you got to find a way to distract him. It kind of starts walking you through it. It's like, oh, okay. He had like a TV he was watching soccer on, so I fucked with that TV. He started fucking with it. I paused the camera, and then it's like, okay, quick, get to that room. And I'm like, which fucking room is that? Like, which fucking room is that? Uh-huh. So then I went into like 3 of the wrong rooms. Eventually got into a room where I saw the picture on this of the wall safe, the picture that I could interact with. Tried to knock it off the wall, nothing doing. You know what I mean? Or I did knock it off the wall. You do knock it off the wall, but then you can't actually open the safe. So then you have to find a switch. Mm-hmm. So then you just start slamming drawers on the desk and opening them. And nobody bothers you the whole fucking time. Because I had the guard distracted. And then I got the switch, you get the documents, you look at them.
That's it.
Ends
the mission.
Yeah.
Now, one thing...
she gets like a bloody nose in the bathroom.
Yeah,
some woman comes in and like some other CIA lady comes in.
Yeah, and she's like, I can't help you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And she leaves. I was like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, so who the fuck was that?
Did you notice in like, I think the back, like, right corner of the room where the portrait is, there's like an orb, like one of the interaction orbs. I kept going to it and couldn't figure out what it was.
Yeah?
And it seemed like a thing you were supposed to interact with. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember that.
It was like on the floor. It almost looked like it was like clipping through the ceiling of the floor below. It was very strange. I couldn't figure it out. Later, I saw another one in another episode, and I like did the right move on it.
Oh, it's
a
bonus?
Like, yeah, it was like unlocking concept art.
Okay, the way you were explaining
it to me. You found some of those, right?
Yeah, the way you were explaining it to me was weird. They remind me of the points in Quantum Break. The Chronon sources.
Yeah.
It reminded me of those. Yeah, they're just bonuses. Yeah, just in-game bonus
but they don't tell you what those are.
Nope.
And I tried to interact with it, and it could even just say like, do this move to interact. I was trying to interact with it, and I couldn't do anything, and I did it by accident later in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember why.
This mission pissed me off.
Yeah, I think I lucked out by going the path I did because they kind of spoon feed you a little bit because they're like, oh, you got to distract him before you go in there.
Yes, but also it's kind of just like, it was like, oh, you're doing it wrong. Do it right.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like what happened for me was I go up, I try to go into the room. Mm-hmm. I like something alerted someone that I was in there.
Did you knock the painting off the
I
wall?
think I moved stuff around, and they were like, oh, and so I was like, you need to be stealthy. So I possessed the guard in front of the door and tried to get him to move around. Didn't work out. He got touched on the arm or something. And so it's like, all right, well, I found the security room. I wound up knocking the guy's cup over and like spilling coffee or something on his lap.
Yeah.
Flipped off the thing, went in, I finished the mission eventually.
Right.
But it was just like, it was so confusing to me, like the order of stuff, and it was like, no, you've got to do this. You got to go here. And it's like, Aiden, you didn't take care of the cameras. It's like, well, you didn't say there were cameras.
That is fair. I guess I assumed a lot of stuff going into this.
It was so
What
punitive.
I mean? No, it was like with a lot of the mechanics and stuff, it really did just kind of like thrust you into it. It's a weird mission to be the second mission you do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's weird that you're now in the game.
Yeah, it's 100%, it's not even
and you never got a tutorial on how the basic mechanics
work.
This
was the tutorial. You
That'd
know
be
what I
fine.
mean? But
it'd be a good opening mission if it just like said, here's like press this to do this move, press this to do this move, and like this is how it works. And it just kind of brings you in totally raw, and then you can just fuck it up.
Yeah.
I thought something just landed on you.
Oh no, it's just a sewn up hole.
What were your paths? Mine were finished the mission and control room guard was alerted.
Had finished the mission, paused the video undetected, finished the mission with Aiden only, finished the mission without Sheik.
Finished the mission without Sheik?
Yeah.
I wonder what finished the mission with Sheik was.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I missed out on like 6 fucking things.
Did you... I wrote down any time it said undiscovered path, too, to try to, like...
Yeah.
Bear in mind that I didn't get something. I did not get any in that one. So I don't know. I don't know what the... I imagine the Sheik was... They meant literally the Sheik that, like, Clayton talks to at the beginning. You know what I mean? Maybe you can control him or something, or possess him.
Oh, that would make sense.
Or, like, seduce him. Maybe you don't need to use Aiden. Maybe you can seduce him as Jody. You know what I mean? All options. Because the other thing is using only with Aiden only.
Right.
Because I didn't use Jody to help me at all. So it's like, maybe you could have gone... That's what I mean, is I'm like, there's replayability in these fucking games.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know what I didn't do.
Right.
Because a moment later, too, where it's like, you didn't save this. And I was like, I could have saved them. You know, I would have.
Oh, my God. There was a moment where I go, I didn't save him.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean?
I was heartbroken.
Yeah, I could have.
Oh, it hurt.
I didn't know I could have. I would have. I would have.
Okay.
Anyways, that's the embassy.
Yeah, and then this next mission is where the first time I started the game, this is the point where I said, holy shit, I need to share this experience with someone else.
This is the party. The party. Is what this mission is called. And it's basically Jody, it seems like maybe for the first time, is being allowed to like leave her home to interact with other kids.
Yes, you're dropped off at a party by the Green Goblin. This is just bananas.
It's fucking Bananarama from start to finish at this party.
Let's go through bit by bit.
Okay.
Did you enter the house?
Yeah, I went right in. I like consider. I there's half a second where I was like, do I look in the window first, see what kind of scope shit out? And I'm like, what if they see me? What if... I tried to kind of come at this... I really tried to come at this party with the perspective of, I'm a teenage girl. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to have fun and meet friends, you know?
Yeah.
So I really went into it with, like, what would a teenage girl do? And I was like, don't look in the window. They'll think you're fucking weird. Just knock on the door and go inside. Like...
The mom looked like the lady from It's Always Sunny. I was like, who is that?
Oh, Dee Reynolds?
Yeah.
She also reminded me of Amy Poehler's character from Mean Girls, which is the mother, who's like, yeah, do you guys want anything to drink? Like, a bunch of high school kids show up and they're like, you guys want any cocktails?
Yeah, so the mom leaves.
Yeah,
you go to the party, you walk in, mom leaves.
She's like, oh, thank God everybody's here. Cool, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
In the car, though, before you get out, Willem Dafoe gives you a present for the girl. It's a very old edition of collected works of...
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like a 50-year-old book or something. It's very rare, apparently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So...
Which, like... Willem Dafoe. Norman Osborn.
That's a nice present. That's not a present for a child or
Not
a
for
teen.
a teenage girl.
It's
No.
not.
Not for a teenage boy. Unless you know that this kid is like a fucking, like a shut-in. You know what I mean?
Have you read any Poe?
Yeah, somebody got me a collection of Edgar Allan Poe's.
It's not exciting for a
It
kid.
was for my 16th birthday.
Oh.
Somebody got me a collection of H.P. Lovecraft and Edgar Allan Poe, like 2 separate
is
collections of
not
poetry.
Good teen
No, I got
reading.
slightly more into the Lovecraft stuff, but even that was
because
too...
you're a racist.
Yeah, because I'm a racist. It was for the racism. No, it's because I like fantasy.
No, yeah, I know, yeah.
But I never could get that into it because it was also fucking dense. You know what I mean? And a lot
Yeah.
of it was like not for a 16-year-old who was playing Gears of War.
Not an American 16-year-old in the 2000s. Like I get maybe 100 years prior, but
I'm watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force and jerking off. You know what I mean? Like I'm not reading Edgar Allan Poe.
so you go in. The girl, I can't remember her name. Who I had the names of all the kids written down at one point, but I lost it.
I only had one of their names written down. It's because fuck him.
So you go into the party, she's like, oh, is that for me? Thanks. And she takes the present. You go in, and it's like, my mom left, finally. And so she goes, and she's like, my mom doesn't even look at my room anymore. She's so stupid. And she has, like, a fucking, I don't know, like a 24 rack of, like...
No, it doesn't even look like a full... It looks like how, like, Stewart's sold their own beer for a little while. And it came in those little cases like that. Like, when you get a case of beer, like, if you work somewhere... And you get like a case of 6-packs and you're unloading it. It was in one of those boxes.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Of warm beer that has been under her bed for weeks.
Yeah, for God knows how long. And really not, there's like 6 of you. There's like, I would not say there was 24 beers in there. It looked like there was like enough for like maybe 1 or 2 for each of you.
All right, maybe 12 beers.
Yeah, like maybe 12 beers for like 6 of you. I'm like, I get your kids, but like, come on.
Have you ever given a kid a beer? It doesn't take much.
No, I didn't drink as a kid either, really.
I didn't drink as a kid.
The first time I drank, I had 8 beers and I blacked out. So.
Oh, that's fucked up. Yeah, when I started drinking, I would drink like 2 40s and just puke.
Yeah,
and just like black out and puke.
14 years old, 8 Coors Light, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Not good. I would only drink super and like in my mid 20s I had a 40 and I was like blitzed.
It was from like 18 to like 21 that I was like, every time I drink I'm going to black out.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that I had ever drank 2 of those in a session.
It's weird coming back to certain things like that. Like I tried to chug a beer, like shotgun a beer maybe 2 months ago and I almost immediately threw up. It took everything in me to not immediately throw up, and it took me way longer than it used to. And I was like, how did I do that?
I'm having a beer for Jody right now.
There you go.
You get asked to handle the music for the party.
Yes.
What kind of music did you choose? Do you remember?
Fucking rock, dude. Rock and roll.
I chose pop.
Yeah.
And in my notes I have, some dumb bitch told me it was bad.
Yeah. Some dumb bitch told me the rock was bad. She goes, oh, that's bad. Let's get something a little more modern. And then she switched it to pop.
I think she switched it to rock. So maybe you can't win this scenario.
I think you're kind of set up to fail at this party a little bit. That right there sold it to me because I was like, for a second I was like, I should pick pop because they're a bunch of teenage kids. You know what I mean? They're gonna listen. And I was like, no, I'm fucking cool, man. I listen to Slipknot. You know what I mean? I listen to Korn.
So I drank a beer when I was offered. I feel like I was lying. It was like, no, I've had some before.
Yeah, I was like, why wouldn't you just be like, no, well, fucking give me one, you know?
No, but I'm happy to have one. Like, why is that weird? Like, guess what? I'm 14.
Yeah.
I can't buy beer.
Yeah. I don't know anyone who could for me.
You only have this beer because you snuck it and hid it under your bed like contraband for months,
As you all
and
know,
it's warm.
I live on a military base, and I'm 14 years old. And maybe we were just more confident 14-year-olds. You know what I mean?
Everyone grabs a beer. They're all hanging out. Then there's the kid who is rolling cigarettes on the kitchen counter.
He's rolling J's, fat-ass J's.
It just seems so absurd to me because I go, all right, it's pot, but it's not pot. You know what I mean? Like, they don't make it clear that it's pot. It looks more like a cigarette, the way it's rolled, the way she smokes it. To me, I don't know. And then
the way I roll
also,
mine.
two fat joints
Yeah, I hear you. That's also I've also, as somebody who has rolled their own cigarettes and who rolls joints and spliffs for themselves regularly now, that's a huge fucking cigarette. If you're rolling a cigarette, that's a huge fucking cigarette. That's a fat joint, but that's a party joint. You know what I mean? Cigarettes,
Right, but he's smoking by himself. He's alone in the little kitchenette area.
Yeah, just hanging out like you're the kitchen island. Just rolls you a giant fucking joint.
Did you get super high?
Gives it to you. I took like 4 puffs, yeah.
Oh, really? I took like 1 and set it down.
Yeah. I took like 3 or 4, and she's like fucking faded. You know what I mean? Like she's like, and then I go to set it down, and she goes, "Whoa, I think that's enough for now." And then she just puts the lit joint on the countertop like an asshole. Like you're gonna burn.
Yeah.
You can like wipe ash away. You can't.
Anytime I've been like smoking with someone who like isn't familiar, they're like, "Oh, what should I do with this now?"
Yeah,
because they're like
it's the immediate.
I don't want, like, 1, it's drugs that I didn't pay for.
Yeah.
And 2, it's on fire.
Yeah.
So like, should I ash this somewhere? Like, you know, it's like it's never just like I'll just put it down here.
Yeah, nobody's ever thought. Does anybody? What do I? Like, do I pass this? You're always trying to find someone to pawn it off onto.
So I walked over to the stereo after that.
Yeah.
And I danced.
I danced before I smoked the joint.
Okay. And you danced by yourself.
Yeah. There was.
You just kind of like.
Well, I had a beer.
A little bit.
There were 3 girls dancing. As you walk over and go to dance, all of them fucking walked away. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, man. So then I went and smoked weed. And then I said, well, what else is there to do, really? So I went back over and I had a little bit more beer. But I only had 1 sip of the beer the first time, and then set it back down. This time I had a couple sips, and I was like, I shouldn't get drunk, actually. That's a bad move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Set the beer back down. And I went and I sat down on one of the chairs near the radio.
Yeah. And did someone approach you?
You did.
Yes, Matt approaches you.
Matt came and he sat right down next to me, yeah.
Yeah. So I tried to be kind of like distant with him.
Yeah, I was honest. I was forward.
Yeah?
I was open about it. I was like, what did I... Yeah, I was just honest with him. I was like, it was just... He was like, what's up, what are you... Blah, 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 what are you doing here? I was like, oh, I'm in military base. I don't really get to get out a lot. They thought it would be... Because you kind of like go at this like kind of like coy, I'm cool, sarcastic, kind of like... They thought it was a good idea for me to socialize. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of go that route. And it goes pretty well.
Did you slow dance with him?
I did. I danced with him. He says, slow dance. It's a good time for it. Uh-huh. Do you let him grab your ass? Did you slow dance with him?
Yeah.
You let him grab your ass?
Yeah.
Nah. I said, nah, hands up here, buddy. 10 and 2. And then I kissed him, though.
I kissed him.
I'll kiss you, but you can't. I'm not a... Nope, you can't grab... I'll kiss you. You're not grabbing my butt right away, though. You know what I mean?
I don't remember... I moved in closer to him when he grabbed me.
Yeah, well, it's like... No, you can move in closer, but it's like there's a moment where his hands slide down, and you can choose to, like, push his hands back up.
I don't remember pushing his hands up.
No, I did. Mm-hmm. You just let him go right on your butt cheeks. Mm-hmm.
That's what it's there for.
You slut.
Shitting and grabbing.
I know. Mm-hmm.
So
shitting and grabbing. You cut turds with that thing? Oh.
Wait.
Wait, you shit with that ass?
So yeah, I remember like a little, like there was a little stumble at one point. We're like, sorry, I don't really know how to dance. He's like, I guess I don't either. It's just like,
and you were drunk too.
Yeah.
So.
But the dance ends, and it's like time for presents.
Yeah. She gets a fucking thong, which is like a.
And what does the girl say? Do you remember this line?
It's like something.
It's.
You go ahead. You say it because I can't remember.
She gets a thong.
Uh-huh.
And the girl who gives it goes, now you can stop stealing your mom's.
Oh yeah, which is fucking.
It's like, what? You wear your mom's panties?
Yeah. I stole a couple of my dad's shirts. You know what I mean? Here and there.
That's not that crazy.
I borrow a dress shirt. You know what I mean? But like.
And she goes, my future lover thanks you for making his life more interesting.
Which is also like thongs are. And thongs are disgusting. You know what I mean? Like that's just you're begging for a UTI and like
just put a little floss up the butt crack.
I just want something to cover up my clitoris.
I remember when thongs were like a huge craze in the early 2000s, like the whale tail.
I was gonna say whale tail. Everybody wanted the whale tail. Lowrider jeans.
It looked cool.
Mm-hmm. You needed to have them bedazzled on the ass.
It seems like most people I know, like, it seems super common for like, I shouldn't say most people I know. it seems like super common for most women to wear thongs even now, but like they've changed a bit more where it's not the same like G-string style. Like it seems like there's a very common like thong, sort of almost like bikini cut thong thing that seems super common whenever I see like ads for underwear and stuff and shit. It's like, but this is like a scrap of fabric.
Yeah, this is the classic thong.
Yeah, this is old school.
Just a little bit of something to cover up just your clitoris.
Yep.
Nothing else, you know what I mean? And then a string that can a string that exists solely to like exchange fluids from your asshole and vagina as you walk around throughout the day. You know what I mean? Like they're just disgusting.
Yeah.
And anybody I've been with who wearing a thong, it's an upsetting scenario. It's uncomfortable, you know. Their room's gross. It's a mattress on the floor situation, usually.
I hear ya. But hey, at least they weren't stealing their moms.
Yeah, no judgment. They were their own thongs.
So next up, she opens the book. Yeah. And she's completely offended.
She's like immediately, as though it's a personal attack on her.
Yes.
Like she opened the gift and it was just an index card with like cunt written on it. You know what I mean? You were like, oh.
She's like, I can't believe you came all the way to my party to give me this shit.
Mm-hmm. Why would you think? Yeah, she was so fucking. It was so. These kids are just mean. You know
and they're like, you know what? It's not all right.
Yeah. You're like, I'm sorry. It's a really rare book. I thought.
Fuck you.
You're like, but it's.
I meant to mention before this, they ask you if you have any powers.
Oh fuck! We totally skipped over that. Did you say yes?
I said no. I don't have any powers.
I said yeah. I showed him.
How'd that go for you?
It went okay. It starts out where I turned on the radio. That's the first thing I did, and they were like, "Oh, whoa," you know what I mean? Then I went over, and I moved a chair.
Yep.
And that scared a couple of them. Mm-hmm. And then I think I turned the TV to static. Mm-hmm. And they were all like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? They all immediately got like scared and angry. So I stopped. I like went back into her, and they were all like, "Whatever." They all like just kind of like walk away and be like, "That was fucking scary. Why would you do that?"
I experienced that the first time, and I was kind of like, "Well, you asked for it."
Yeah, she literally goes, "You guys asked me to do it.
You can't win. You can't win.
There's no winning at this party."
So
I forgot that happened beforehand.
They immediately like dogpile on you.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And then like Matt like pops in on nowhere like, and she was trying to suck my dick.
Yeah. And the slut was all over me all night. Loser. I wasn't even interested.
You're a slut. Uh-huh. And it's like, yeah, you're a slut and a witch.
Yeah. And I'm also, first of all, you fucking made the move, doggy.
Yes.
You sat down, you know what I mean? Like I was fucking.
And also, everybody could have seen it.
Yeah. Everybody saw it happen.
You're in a living room with like 5 people.
Yeah.
If 2 of them are like making out, you're not going to be like.
Also, the only kid that was nice to you was a kid rolling the joints, and suddenly he's real mean to you. You know what I mean? Because he didn't make fun of you when you smoked the weed.
Yeah, he was like, oh, first time, that's all right, it happened to me too. Yeah. He was like sympathetic.
He doesn't even make fun of you. I was like, that's the only nice kid here. Because like, even I'd call you like a slur if you started coughing, smoking weed around me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But I mean, I throw slurs out a lot. You know.
That kid too, like the weed kid. He was just like, whoa, this is totally radical, dude. It's like the writing of that character was atrocious.
I know. Yeah, they all like swarm you.
They swarm you.
Pick you up.
They say you're a witch, which I don't know. Like I guess there just must be a rumor that she has powers because I didn't show the powers.
Yeah, you're there because the girl whose birthday it is, her mom works at the military base.
Right.
So she's aware that they're conducting experiments on you or
but
being
they don't
researched.
really know what's going on.
They don't.
But they go, what do we do with witches? We burn them. And then she burns your arm with a joint.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like that's not okay.
Then they fucking Harry Potter you in the fucking crawl space.
They get you all up. You're fucking flailing and screaming and freaking out.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's literally like, it's one of those things. They depict this a lot in a lot of like. I don't know, they make this seem like it happens to a lot of kids, and there was like definitely like growing up for a little while, I was like, this doesn't happen to anyone, and then I had a stepbrother do this kind of stuff to me. It happens, and it is exactly that infuriating and like scary, you know what I mean? To be like overpowered by like other kids, because you're like, kids will kill you. Yeah. Kids will murder you. Kids don't understand.
Hey, Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, kids, exactly. Kids will smash your head on the
Battle
rocks
Royale.
And fucking say, sucks to your asthma. Battle Royale.
Hungry Games.
Hungry boys. Hungry men.
They lock Jody in the crawl space and go back to the party. Aiden lets her out. Or, she's like, Aiden, help me.
I tried to go into the room first. And they're all laughing at you and having a good time.
I almost went upstairs, and then she was like, I can't go upstairs. I was like, all right, that's fine. And then,
that would be oversight.
And then it was like, leave the party or get revenge was the option you were given.
I think you already know what I picked.
I picked revenge.
I picked revenge as well.
And she goes, Aiden, the leash is off.
Let him go.
So you wreaked havoc.
Yeah, so apparently you could take it further than I did.
Okay, tell me how far you went, and I'll tell you how far I went. Basically, you go into the room as Aiden.
Yeah.
And they're just like, woohoo, we're fucking little idiots.
I started,
But I just want to say, you can interact with almost every object in the room.
Yes, and it slowly escalates, and the stuff you can interact with changes as it goes.
Yes. So, let me know how you did
I, started out, and I, fuck with the radio and the TV first, you know what I mean? Right away. Fuck them. And then I started throwing chairs around, started moving shit around, throwing cups at people. You know what I mean? I think I threw the beers at the girl with the glasses who burnt me with the cigarette. I threw a chair at the stoner kid.
And when you throw the chair, they drop.
Oh, it hits him. It's not like you're sliding the chair into him. You're it's like this is the government's problem level fucking bringing a chair down on someone's back. You know? With the chair! But no, and so I'm doing that. I'm throwing the chairs at him. I felt bad about hurting the weed kid because he was nice to me.
Except for the point where he assaulted you.
He did assault me. So, I wanted to spook him. When I hit him with the chair and he hit the ground, I felt bad.
It is really just like picking up a big piece of furniture and throwing it with full force at a person.
At a child.
Yeah.
Like a 13-year-old, 14-year-old. And so I'm doing that. I'm throwing chairs around. I think I broke a window. I knocked out the girl with the glasses. I'm knocking everyone around. I'm knocking Matt around because fuck Matt. Matt gets scared and runs into the kitchen.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
I turned on all the burners.
Yeah.
Just going full force. He's cowering against the thing. I might have thrown a knife at him.
I definitely threw a knife at him. There's a knife block, and you can launch it. And
I was I wonder what happens if I interact with that. And it just fucking pins him to the wall.
Yeah.
It goes through his shoulder, and he's just like, because that's in shock. That's when I stopped. I said, I'm gonna fucking go.
I burned the fucking house down.
I got to the end, and one of the options was didn't burn down the house.
I burned down the house.
What?
I went for the went for the curtains or something.
Yeah.
And fucking burned the house. And I smashed everything. I threw the knives at people. I knocked everyone out. And then and Jody's screaming, no. Oh, they don't die.
They don't die.
They all have smoke inhalation though. They all crawl out of the house. The mom shows up what the hell? Fucking Green Goblin's oh no, I made a mistake.
I had the similar where the house isn't on fire, but they all come out and they're like, she's a fucking witch! She tried to kill us.
They're crawling out.
Yeah, Matt is crawling out. Matt is bleeding from his arm. I fucked him up. I specifically said, so here are my paths. Didn't get drunk. Smoked.
I smoked.
Kissed Matt.
I kissed Matt.
Showed your powers.
I hid my powers.
Attacked the teens.
I attacked the teens.
Didn't burn the house.
I set the house on fire.
I said I did turn the stove on and stab Matt with a knife, though. So that's why I didn't burn the house down, but left unattended, it would have burned down. You know what I mean? All those burners were on, and those kids were incapacitated. They would have died. Really great one, though. This one was fun. Yeah, gas stove. That's why it was easier. That's why I was I could blow these kids up.
Yeah. We don't have those up here, really. I mean, they exist, but
I have
most places are fitted with electric.
Yeah, like any residential place. Everywhere I've worked has had gas stoves, so I deal with gas ranges all day.
And where I'm from originally, everybody has gas.
If you go out into if you get outside of the city of excuse me. If you get outside the city of Plattsburgh, you get a lot more gas ranges, but it's because it's all electric here. You have to get
we have cheap electric.
Yeah, and you have to get separate lines put in. So, fuck that.
First interview. Once again, we are child Jody. This is where she meets Willem Dafoe for the first time, and he's basically tell me about your friend, your imaginary friend. And basically, like, it's like, can you draw a picture of him?
Yeah.
Did you choose to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I drew.
I was pretty helpful.
Yeah, I was like, I have no reason not to trust this guy
Yeah,
right now.
I really tried to, like... And it might sound kind of... I mean, I feel like it's the point of it. I was going to say it sounds dumb, but I feel like it's not dumb, because it's the fucking point of a video game like this. I tried to put myself in the shoes of Jodie.
Yeah, you're role-playing.
Yeah, I was role-playing hardcore, because I'm like, well, she's a little kid who's just here, like, at the end of the day, she is probably scared. You know what I mean? She doesn't know what's going on. So, like, the stuff... He asked, like, a question like, do you know what he looks like? And I was like, no, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't really see him.
Yeah, so I answered. I was like, I don't know. And then he's like, can you draw him for me? I was like, shoot, if there's a yes option, I'll go for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
did you show your powers to him? Or show Aiden's powers?
yes, I
I
showed
did
the
as
powers,
well.
yeah.
Then those are the two paths.
Yep. I didn't... You can interact with the snow globe, too, on his desk, that I didn't interact with.
Yeah, he was like, oh, do you like that? You can have it. And I was like...
I didn't interact with it, but I remembered that you could. It was one of those things where, like, I moved too fast to the desk, and at the last second, I was like, oh, fuck, I could have... But you'd see it later.
Yeah.
Too. It's like a kind of a little set piece.
Welcome to the CIA.
That was it. That was
yeah.
that mission. That was it.
So this game, like the episodes or chapters are either like 2 minutes or like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's the same way Heavy Rain was, though, where it was
Yeah.
like really some of them were like you... some of them where you go downstairs and have a conversation, and some of them are like you go on a car chase, save your child from a fucking... You know what I mean?
So by the time I got to this one, though, I was like, oh... It's because of how it's written episodically like this, I understand there is a through line to the narrative, but it also kind of seems like they're like, what if, like, we did one where she was, like, doing CIA training? Or, like, what if we did a scene where, like, she's at the embassy and, like, has to, like, do a spy mission? Or, like, what if she, like... Oh, man, what if she, like, has to, like, fight guys on top of a train? It just seems like... It's just like, they just got fucking stoned and just like, all right, here's a list of like 50 crazy things that could happen.
Those 3 things that you listed are the ones that stand out the most, too, because it's like, the embassy is very disjointed. There's not really anything, you know what I mean? And like, the embassy and the FBI ones, like, I mean, the CIA ones, the one we're about to get into, both feel like they would have been the perfect tutorial missions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's just not how they used them.
No.
And I mean, they, like, to a degree... I guess kind of, but like this is the 5th mission, you know what I mean? This is the 5th mission in the game.
Yeah.
And they're now telling us how to do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
That we've been doing. At least half of it we've been doing.
So, Jodie's now in CIA training.
She's ripped, dude. She's huge. Hoorah.
We see her progress over the course of 3 years. I said right here, this was awkward for me at times, in part because my right bumper kind of shorts out on my controller.
Same. Mine, that's got to be an issue with the... Do you have a 360 controller or an Xbox
I
One?
have an Xbox One.
It's got to just be an issue with the Xbox controllers, because my right bumper fucking was also giving me issues all the time.
I kind of want to get one of those like really nice PlayStation controllers. They seem like people really swear by those.
Yeah, I know. It's just the fact that I can keep buying another Xbox 360 controller for like $20 once a year.
True.
Makes it worth it to me.
That's like a $90 controller I have that I got for like $25. Like I don't understand when it's like.
Why is that $90? Yeah.
Also, but why can I get it so cheap sometimes? Like sometimes I just see them on eBay for like a quarter of the price.
It's the resale. You know what I mean? You can't, because it costs $90, but everybody knows it's not worth $90.
Right.
So no one's gonna. Once you've already bought it, no one's gonna pay you that amount of money for it.
Craziness.
Like,
I have in my notes here, movement was not intuitive. It
No.
feels like they reverted back to the Fahrenheit/Indigo prophecy formula, rather than the narrative-based QTE format of Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain is the better game if I were to like rank this against Heavy Rain, which we talked about a lot earlier. But this is like where all of my issues with the controls like really came to the forefront.
It's where they really stood out. I mean, I mentioned it to you off camera beforehand, but basically this whole mission is just you're just going through, like, you go through an obstacle course. You're going through like basic training somewhere. You go through an obstacle course. You go through like some basic like boxing, like jiu-jitsu. You know,
you're like outside, like. Outdoor obstacle course, like you gotta like climb the wall, like there's like hurdles and stuff.
Crawl underneath the barbed wire.
Super generic.
Do the tires.
You've seen it in movies.
Yeah, it's in whether you're watching Major Payne or you're watching whatever, you know what I mean? That's the other good one I could.
And then you are in the gym, and in the gym scene is like almost identical to like there is a super unnecessarily long gym combat scene in Fahrenheit. That is like it's like, because like a boxing match might go 10 rounds or something.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, you're doing all 10 rounds. And it's like, what the fuck? And it does
10
not
3-minute rounds.
change. It does not escalate. It just goes and goes and goes. And this felt very similar where it's like, there's basically 3 mini games. And then there's the one where you're doing like a combat stealth training.
But this is like really where it all of my frustrations began in this moment. You know what I mean? Because it's like, where I was telling you off camera, I finally remembered what I was going to say a second ago, and the fucking, you're just supposed to duck underneath obstacles while you're running, and that should be a simple thing, but they don't let you know that, like, it's going to go into slow motion when you're supposed to do the thing.
It does tell you.
Sometimes, though. Sometimes it doesn't go into slow motion.
True. I was going to say, the game does say, wait until you go into slow motion.
Yeah, I thought that was for combat, though.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Not parkour, you know what I mean?
No,
so I'm running up on this fucking...
Not, and then other times, you don't need to wait for slow motion.
The other time it doesn't do it at all. So I'm running, and I failed one part of this whole fucking thing. I failed the obstacle course. Because I'm running, and I'm just literally, I'm watching Jodie go like, it's like I come up to the thing, I duck, and then she brings her head back up right when she fucking hits the thing, and just gets clipped and hits the ground. Every single one of them. Every one of them, I fucked up. I was getting so mad because it's just Jodie. Because when you hit it, it goes in slow motion too, and then she like slides on the ground. And it's like, oh, you fucked it up. I kept
getting my fucking shit pushed in during the combat training because I
actually nailed this part.
Really? Wow.
The combat training. This was the only combat I didn't struggle with through the whole game. It was the only part where it felt like they did the combat part right, where you could kind of tell where she was going, but the timing was still weird for me.
It was weird. So you just go through CIA training. This is just I
failed the stealth mission twice, I think. Yeah, once or at least once. I don't remember if I failed it the second time.
You see her go from she's got long hair and then short hair and then long hair. You see her. It's 3 years.
Yeah.
Consolidated into a relatively brief mission for as far as the game goes, and at the end. So did you fail the last mission? Like the last the final stealth training? At the end, it's like you get all the way to because you have to like go through this like obstacle course. There's like guys with guns.
Yeah.
And here's one thing I was very confused by. Maybe this is how it works in the CIA. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
It's a training scenario. She chokes guys out.
Yeah.
Like to the point of unconsciousness.
I don't know how realistic that is. I know that in a lot of scenarios, like in things like, what's the fucking Israeli, when they do Krav Maga and stuff.
Yeah, the IDF or whatever.
Whatever it is. The Mossad, you know what I mean? It's not the Mossad.
Is it the IDF? I don't know what
I don't think it's not the IDF. It has a different name, but it's not Mossad either, but like whatever.
I know what you're talking about.
Israeli Defense Forces. Who knows? Whatever they are. Just in like these elite groups and probably in the CIA. Well, that's IDF. Israeli Defense Force IDF, I realized. I saw the fucking look you were giving me. You asshole. It probably is that. Anyways, in a lot of the elite things, they do go for like your full force training. Especially, and even in like the Marines, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. When you're doing these practices where they're like, practice this takedown, they're like, you're fully doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you are probably hurting the other people a little bit. You know what I mean? So, I guess, probably it's semi-realistic. Well, I don't know about literally choking them until they're unconscious. I imagine they'd tap out.
Right. I feel like it's like...
And imagine you're not trying to, like, slam anyone's face full force
into
the ground.
Yeah. She's wrecking these guys.
Yeah, like, that'll kill you.
So, you get to the thing, and then it's like... And then Ryan's like... Ryan Clayton is like...
I was like, who the fuck's Ryan?
you finish. You get to the end, and he's like... if this had been real, you'd be already dead. And she's like, if this was real, you wouldn't have had time to fucking pull the trigger or whatever. And then, like, you see that, like, she is, like, possessed one of the guards, and he's got his gun trained on Ryan. Yeah. And it's like, you experienced that?
Yes, I got that part,
yeah. Okay, so... it's like, oh. And then he's like, well, welcome to the CIA, Jodie. Great. And everyone else is like, yeah, you did it. And he's just like, he walks off like a little prick.
Yeah, he's a...
And it's like, why are you such a douche?
I fucking... It's why I don't
makes
like...
no fucking sense to me why he's so rude to her, because my battery's about to die.
It is.
It could be a tough love thing. I get it, but
it's not though.
It doesn't, because you would do that, and then you go, "Hey, we were hard on you, but you made it through some of the most elite training in the country."
This would be the moment when you do that, not where you continue to act like a little bitch. You know what I mean?
And I, having finished the game,
it still doesn't make sense.
No,
nope,
zero motivation for him to act this way.
No,
now, if I'm wrong, if there's some little Quantic Dream fanboy that wants to educate me on why I'm wrong.
I mean, it could be like a
leave a comment,
thing.
and you know what? Like and subscribe while you're at it, idiot. No, I could see him like sort of negging her, but also like the negging is usually accompanied by like a little
compliment, yeah, a little flirting, something at all.
Yes. I left my drink over here and I want to sip it. No, it made no fucking sense to me, and I was just like, oh, okay, I guess there's something weird here.
Yeah.
There's not.
Nope.
In fact,
I thought it was like he was jealous of you, like you're gonna take his job or something. Or
no,
he
you're partners.
He doesn't. Maybe it's like
as you see.
I don't need a partner
in the second mission. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but then that's also never the vibe he gives off the rest of the fucking game either. So.
Makes no sense.
Know. It would have been cool if he actually got shot in the head during this scene. I think.
It would have been cool if he was fucking dead. So, my paths were in good physical shape.
Yep, same.
Not spotted during training.
I got tremendous fighter, then spotted during training.
Oh, right. Mine are out of order. Because they go like 1, 2, 3, 4. I was going 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And for like half the game, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm counting these weird.
It's a good format when it's like, protect Trump president, you know what I mean? That's a bad example, but like,
yeah,
it just doesn't work. You know what
people
I mean?
do the syntax all weird. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hunted. Next chapter.
Wait, did I get another one? No, I just wrote more stuff. Sorry.
Oh, do you want to say anything?
Nope. I said it already.
Good. Jody is riding a train. Apparently, she's running away from the CIA and is wanted for treason.
Apparently. Out of fucking nowhere. I love that you go from
welcome to the CIA.
Welcome to being wanted for treason. Welcome to being on the fucking run.
I like that the story is told out of order, but
the juxtaposition of a couple of them are a little...
Sometimes it's like, you could do that once.
Yeah.
But this game multiple times it goes, here's a thing. Here's the opposite of that thing, and it's fucked up. And it's like, well, okay. Clearly, there's something in between that I missed.
Yeah.
How many times are you going to pull that trick? And it's so... I don't know. It's so jarring. Like, it didn't allow for character development. Which isn't necessary. I love movies that are told out of order. I love, like, Seven is one of my favorite movies of all time. So
classic.
good.
Good movie.
And I really felt like I saw an arc in that character, even though his arc is a loop. Like, I felt for him. In this, it was just kind of like, wait, what? Who the fuck is she? What is going on?
Yeah,
I don't understand anything.
And it's because even if you were to play this in chronological order, there's still massive gaps. You know what I mean?
Which is, I was playing Detroit Become Human. My girlfriend was sitting here watching, and she was, she's become intrigued by the story. So I'm playing it with her around, and she's, and she's like, well, wait, what about, what is that? I go, look.
Don't.
Look, the plot holes are a feature of Quantic Dream's style. And even in Heavy Rain, like the biggest plot hole, why does Ethan keep blacking out? Oh, because we just couldn't fit everything we wanted to do in the game. Yeah. Like, there was, maybe we've said it before, but like, there were dream sequences that showed him where he went when he blacked out, and it was this whole deeper psychological thing to the game. They just cut out and then never said, maybe we should tie up that loose end somehow and account for the fact that a good chunk of the story is missing.
Yeah.
No, because I don't think necessarily that they write with these giant plot holes. I think they write an overly ambitious story, have to cut some out, and then don't, account for the changes they've had to make.
Yes.
That's what it seems like.
I just watched Old yesterday. Have you seen that movie yet?
It is one of the most insane things I've ever seen.
Can I say, I think it's the worst fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. There was no redeemable moment in that
dialogue film. More awkward than Silent Hill.
Couldn't have been, no, I was like, fuck dude, no one speaks like that to anyone. No one talks like that.
It is unbelievable.
Ever. No one interacts with other human beings that way. The amount of inconsistencies with the rules that they're creating in the moment. The
mid-sized sedan.
Mid-sized sedan. The fact that they're just borderline they're there'll be a massive plot hole, and then one of the characters will just talk for 30 seconds straight to just fill in that plot, to be well, this probably makes sense because of this, even though the rest of the time they've had no fucking clue what's going on, but suddenly they're connecting a bunch of these logical points that you as the viewer who knows everything can't.
I almost wonder if
fucking hated it.
It was. I've been watching his movies. I've seen
probably your whole life.
Yeah, I know he had a movie. I think Signs was his first big one.
Yeah, I think Sixth Sense.
Oh, Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense was for sure.
But Signs was also really on.
Yeah, Signs was after that. That was the next one, yeah.
But I know he did another one about what's his ethnicity? Is he
there was a, I think he's either I think he's Indian. But Slumdog Millionaire was a big one that he did.
Oh, I didn't know he did that.
That's Slumdog Millionaire.
But he did.
If I'm wrong about that, I'm gonna get canceled.
I would be. I wouldn't be surprised if he did, but I didn't think he did. But I know he did an Indian movie. I think he did a movie outside of the Hollywood system where he plays an Indian guy. It doesn't matter. All I'm saying is I haven't seen that film, but I've seen pretty much everything else he's ever done.
It's not about anymore. It's not by M. Night Shyamalan.
All right. My bad. Anyway, is Slumdog Millionaire about Indian people?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it either. We sang a song from it for chorus one time, but
no, we didn't.
Jai-ho. You weren't in my fucking school.
Oh.
We're not the same age.
Oh, yeah. I kind of... I want to believe, because I know his work. I want to believe that he did that on purpose as a fuck you to the haters and to all the critics who've been saying that his stuff sucks and that he had gone downhill and people were so dissatisfied with his stuff. I thought I got the impression that he was I'm gonna make a film so repellent and so where every decision in the film is confusing and contradictory. And so contrarian to the viewer, and it's it's an assault on the viewer.
Yeah, I mean, even visual, the way it's shot is fucking horrible. It's horrible.
Sound design is okay.
It didn't even make sense. It
doesn't have poorly recorded audio.
No,
but
it was
it's technically very bad.
Such a level of incompetence and that you have to think it's intentional
because he's. Now, it's not to say that Sixth Sense is one of the greatest films ever made.
No, but I mean
but he's not an idiot man.
But he's also made didn't he also do Glass and Unbreakable and that one with I mean, I watched the movie with fucking the guy who's got all the personalities. I can't remember the name of that movie, but
I don't remember what it's called either. But I know what you're talking about.
That was a good movie too. You know what I mean?
He's not dumb.
No, he's good at making movies. They're not the best movies I've ever seen, by any means. They are competent and well-made movies. I can't tell if he's just become intensely out of touch, and he thinks that what he's created is this art house thing, You know what I mean? Maybe like, you know, maybe he thinks he's being incredibly
I was
creative.
gripped by it, but it was like
mostly because I was like, what the fuck?
I couldn't believe how bad it was. I wasn't even like something like The Room. I find very endearing. It's a bad movie, but I was like, wow, there's an earnestness and a sincerity sometimes in bad movies where you're like, damn, like this person's like giving it their all. They're biffing it hard, but
really not.
They're the soul of the project like shines through, and and I think that's why sometimes those B movies and bad movies can become a success. Is like there's a human element to it where you go, yeah, where it's like, damn, you know, they were trying something.
Yeah.
Here, it just so you're linking that experience to.
I don't even remember where we started.
Well, we were talking about
of linking that experience
being hunted by the CIA
to the disjointedness of this story at times, where you're kind of like in the filling in of plot holes that Quantic Dream does, where there's just like, or sometimes they just don't. Sometimes they just leave the plot hole there. Because Old was very good at like they would just like ham fist the plot hole out of it. You know what I mean? But like this was just like they just leave them there. I don't know. Some of it doesn't make sense. We'll get into one of them later, because it's like kind of the end of the game, but one of the biggest plot holes is like how the game ends, I think. But we're on a train, running from the CIA.
Yeah, and Jodie is asleep, and Aiden's knocking stuff around. She's like, Aiden, stop. But like Aiden notices that the train's been stopped, or is stopped at a stop, or whatever.
Yeah.
And that the CIA agents are after her.
Which I almost missed because I was fucking around on the train while it was still moving. And then it came to a stop and I kind of continued to fuck around for a moment. And then I was like, I should see what's going on outside. And I was like, oh, fuck. So then I tried to wake Jodie up. And she does that where she's like, I got it out.
So...
I'm dumping water on passengers. You know,
yeah, I was fucking around with everything. So I escaped the train after an epic fight against around 6 cops on top of a rain-soaked train.
Yeah.
I don't believe that a person could stand on top of that and not fall.
Well, I don't think so. It's metal.
It's slick.
It's slick metal. It's not meant to be stood on. So it's not as though they put like there's certain things where you go, okay, well that's like when you see people like on top of like a tower of some sort and they're walking on those grates and you're like, how are they on those? I'm like, well, they're built for it. Yeah. They're built for people you know what I mean, service people. That's not what the top of a train's for. That's not what it's for. It's for emergency purposes. That's slick metal. You're not.
The train's going fast. It's in the rain. It's pouring rain.
It's wind. It's a storm. Yeah. It's not like a drizzle. So and you're doing fine.
But so you didn't get arrested?
No, I evaded arrest.
Okay.
Which just barely, because I kept fucking up the QTEs throughout the whole entire train trying to get out.
Crazy that you can get arrested on the train.
Yeah.
I'd love to, because it reminds me of in Heavy Rain, you can get arrested or you don't.
Well,
and there's a whole other like. The whole escaping from prison thing in Heavy Rain is like a storyline that you'll miss.
Yeah, that's why I don't know where this would have led if you did get arrested.
But I escaped into the forest.
Yeah, same.
Did you fight off a bunch of dogs?
Yes.
I like hit a dog with a tree branch.
You have to run from the dogs. Yeah, and then you have to fight off all the dogs.
I was getting fucked up by the dogs.
And then I climbed up the sheer rock face.
Yep. And then. There's like a motorcycle cop and another cop, and they're looking around.
Yes, they're all hanging out, and this is one of the cool cinematic scenes too. Whereas you're kind of sneaking along the tree line on the guardrail, it cuts to like from the camera's like in the woods, and you're just kind of seeing yourself through the tree line.
I really enjoyed this area. This was really cool. Did you steal the motorcycle?
I stole that motorbike. Yeah.
That was cool.
It was a lot of fun. This was also like a. They did a really good job with the driving in this game, which I didn't anticipate at all. But like I was cruising, I was going like almost full speed. It felt
fine. I'm always worried when games that aren't vehicle based put vehicle parts in.
Oh, I was very nervous.
I had a little more difficulty with the horse at points.
Yeah, just because like turning it around was awkward.
But the motorcycle parts and stuff, totally fine. You drive to the next town on your motorcycle, where you're ambushed by a SWAT team.
How'd you do?
Well, I ran into a movie theater.
You went in the theater right away?
Not right away.
No?
I was eventually cornered into it because I was trying to get away. I couldn't.
You're trying to get away.
Yeah.
I was attacking immediately. I went straight aggression.
Oh.
As Aiden. I immediately went straight to aggression as Aiden.
Did you blow up the gas station?
I don't think I blew up the gas station. I made the helicopter crash.
That's the final thing I did.
Yeah. So I fucking... I don't think I blew up the gas station. I kept throwing cars at people, and then anytime I could possess a soldier and make him shoot everybody, I did that.
I did that a bunch.
So I did that, I think, 2 or 3 times.
Very brutal.
Yeah, because then they turn it on themselves at the fucking end of it.
This is probably the only game I've seen where, like, a good 5 to 20 people will fucking pop themselves in the nugget. Just, in a very realistic, like, matter-of-fact, like, I'm putting the barrel in my mouth.
Like private pile.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's not a visual I like seeing.
No, it's not. I mean, and they do a good job with it because it's very unnerving.
It's very, like, mechanical. It's very, like, surgical.
Yeah, because that's what it is. You know what I mean? It's like,
what's the most efficient way to end this? Boof. And the way they do it so calmly.
And they're just with the dead eyes because they're being very. I mean, good job.
Yeah,
good
yeah.
fucking job.
No, there was like I fucked with the gas pumps.
Oh, okay.
And then there was gasoline everywhere. And
yeah,
I fucking sparked a flame there somehow and blew up the whole gas station. But like, she was inside of the movie theater trying to escape, trying to like, and she's like, I didn't help, and I was like, I can't figure out what to do.
Right.
And then she was like, eventually, she's like, the helicopter. I was like, oh, okay. It took me forever to get to it.
I was like wreaking havoc for a while, and then eventually she yelled to me, I didn't get the door. And I was like, what fucking door? And then I was like, oh, the movie theater. So it took me a while to get her in there. And once she was in there, that's when I blew up the helicopter and stuff. But she didn't let me know. It was like I was killing everybody. I couldn't interact
I was
with
trying to do something in the theater to like help her barricade her. I thought she was going to like escape.
No.
I didn't know she was like, you know.
And then it fucking...
Yeah.
Just fucking
and there's one
around.
survivor. Because she's like, tell him to leave me alone, because next time I'm going to kill everyone. It's like, oof.
You pretty much did, but all right.
I mean, it's like, how is next time going to be worse? Or do you mean you're literally going to kill everyone?
Yeah, like everybody. So, paths for this one, from Hunted, I got evaded arrest.
Me too. Evaded arrest on the train.
Reach train roof, but bathroom
Window.
stall. You want window?
Oh.
A bathroom stall. I tried to do the window and I fucked up that QTE.
Really? That's interesting. Because I was like, I saw a window. I was like, oh, what's the other way out? So I popped the window open and climbed out. So what did you do?
I got fucked up at that I fucked up the QTE. Whereas like I don't even think it was like, I can't remember if it was like it not doing well or I fucked it up. Either way, if I missed that QTE to go out the window, and then you continue to run, you almost get caught, and you lock yourself in a bathroom, and then you're in the bathroom, and you're like, oh god, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do? You go to Aiden, there's a fucking like little, you know what I mean, door in the bathroom.
For
like,
stink release.
Yeah, to let all the poop air out. And Aiden fucking busts that thing off, and you climb out.
It'd be great if you had to go into the toilet and like escape through the toilet somehow.
Like just put 1 foot at a time.
Yeah.
Get sucked into it. Like Action League now.
Escaped into the forest?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Escape forest, escape with motorbike, and wreaked havoc on the town.
Me too. All right,
we
so
did that
pretty
the same.
similar.
We did that pretty much
similar.
the same.
Next chapter. Next chapter. Next chapter.
This chapter.
Next song.
Alexa, next song, please.
My imaginary friend, Jody, is again a young child, and it's around Christmas time. She's bored and looking out the window. Her mother asks her to do something besides sit and stare out the window all day. I don't know what your childhood was like. This was such a accurate depiction of what it felt like to be around that age to me, and like how my home felt, and how like the sort of like wistfulness and everything, the whole thing. This resonated with me.
They did a really good job.
Really hard. I couldn't believe how well written it was, and it actually like, I think it like dislodged some like some
core
old
memories.
Yeah, some very upsetting memories.
Yeah,
because I had a pretty.
You had a great childhood.
I had an often traumatic childhood. It wasn't all bad.
Everything went great.
But I had some very bad times here and there. I was struck by how well they really captured like being an American child in like the 90s or early 2000s or whatever.
No, I really thought they nailed it, because I had a very similar thought, whereas like my childhood was pretty good, genuinely, you know what I mean? But like just having the
And this wasn't a super traumatic scene or anything.
No.
I just meant to say it was like, it was really like...
It was very real. It was very realistic.
Being a bored kid.
Being just wandering around and you're like, oh, I'll go fuck with this thing. All right, I don't know what else, you know. And then you go fuck with something. And then you go to try to bother your dad. I tried to go bother my dad in this one. You know what I mean? I get upstairs. I go to bother my dad. And, like, this was not a common occurrence. So, Dad, if you're watching this, don't think that you're, like, being mean. But, like, every now and then he'd be, like, listening to messages for his job. And that's, like, when I'd come in to be like, hey, check. And he'd be like, Chah! You know what I mean? Not right now. I'm listening. You know, he'd have to, like, write down. He's taking down details. And, like, that probably only happened a handful of times. But, like, that, like, this unlocked that memory for me. You know what I mean?
Really loved that his computer monitor was one of the big old CRTs. And it was on a stack of books.
Uh-huh.
I was like, man, like...
Did you fuck with him? Your dad?
With Aiden, or...?
Yeah, with Aiden.
I didn't bring Aiden out during this part. Because I didn't think you could for some reason.
I brought him out. I turned off the computer. He was like, oh, what's going on? And then he's like, don't you have something better to do?
Did you find the
Chews you
shoebox?
No.
Did you see the shoebox?
No.
In what I think is the parents' bedroom, there's like an odd shoebox up on top of a dresser. And I was like, oh, I can't reach it.
Went into their bedroom.
Oh, I went into every room I could. And then...
I was worried.
You know,
I get this weird concern in these games that, like, I have a time limit.
You
before
do.
The next event
you do.
happens. Yeah. So that's why I was like,
that's why, you know, I'm always like, oh, what do I prioritize?
Yeah, so that's why I didn't...
So I have the path was missed the shoebox. I was like, damn, I saw the shoebox, but I didn't get it.
I did, yes. I said miss the shoebox too. Yeah, I guess that's why I was like,
I probably could have knocked it down with Aiden.
Yeah, probably.
And it's like, what? The camera goes to it, and it's like, what was the shoebox? I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I'm very curious, but your
maybe
mother...
they had a kid that died or something. Maybe that's how you find out you're fucking... You know what I mean? I don't know. That, like, you have... I don't know. Like, maybe they had a family before you, you know?
Yeah.
Something.
We don't really know much about...
We don't know anything about your parents.
The parents, the supposed parents. So I putzed around, I watched TV, I went upstairs. I have my notes. Maybe I could have asked Aiden for help, but I forgot to. So father doesn't want to be bothered. Mother asks for a bottle of oil from the garage. And as I enter the garage, things started to turn scary. But I left as quickly as I could.
Same. I made it out in time. I got that as my path. Escaped the garage in time.
I wonder what it was that happened.
Yeah, I think it would have been the other entities. The nightmarish ones,
right,
which we haven't
monsters.
been introduced to yet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But they very soon...
Yeah, I think they come at the end of this chapter.
Yeah.
So mother tells me to go play outside. Mm-hmm. And I know I shouldn't, but I snuck out of the backyard to play with some other kids.
Same. Did you put on your snow stuff? I put on my snow stuff too.
Yeah.
I saw it there earlier.
Which is also like... I was like, man, putting on my snow stuff to go outside.
Just getting those boots, then having to ask someone to zip up your coat because you can't with the mittens. You have your big fun mittens and you can't even like move your arms at all.
You have a snowsuit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
Oh yeah, you have the ski pants and you had the fucking
I had like a one-piece snowsuit.
Mine was like overalls. Mine were like ski pants that were like overalls, and I put the coat on over that. But I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I didn't have one. I think I was just
like a
after
jumpsuit
that era.
Yeah.
That was a very like late '80s, early '90s. I was in mid '90s.
Well, we're playing snowball fight.
We're playing snowball fight. Right,
it's going fine.
Yeah. Until some son of a bitch bastard. There was one kid.
Right. Well, what sucks is like you're all playing, it's all fine, and the snowball like throwing mechanic worked surprisingly well. I was like pelting kids in the back of the head.
I was nailing it from like fucking distance too.
I was like, wow, you know. And then the kid who there's a kid who runs up and is like, fuck you, and starts like shoving snow in your face.
Yeah, like rubbing ice in your
really hard.
Face. Yeah, which hurts.
He was the kid who was like, hey, we're being nice to you, play with us, at the beginning, and then just like turned on you again, which is like, I guess kids just turn on her.
Two things. One thing. I think the Quantic Dream developers have a bad relationship with their father. Fathers, collectively. Number two, I don't think any of them know how to interact with women. Because it seems like in every scenario that we get...
Some of the allegations made would support that.
Would make it seem like that's the case. And that's what I think, because it seems like anytime there's like a love interest or a man who's like friendly to you, I mean, you know, Heavy Rain's a different thing. The relationships in that whole game are fucked.
Jesus Christ, wait till you see what happens in Detroit.
I don't even want to get into what happened in Heavy Rain with some of that stuff, but like, with the exception of Cole, everyone either oddly sexualizes you.
Cole, who basically doesn't have a penis.
Yeah, Cole, who's like just this androgynous, you know what I mean, unsexualized thing. But no, but they're all either They're either negging you, you know what I mean, or they're like not. It's never a healthy relationship. You know what I mean? Every relationship between like a man and woman in these games is never healthy. And while it's true that a lot of relationships aren't healthy,
scanning my memory just to see if I can go against that, but even the parents don't have a healthy relationship.
Nope. And then even the one guy you meet on the fucking ranch is mean to you. And like dismissive of you and treats you like shit at first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you get like other than Cole,
the only guy who's nice to you, who is also a little like weirdly cold to you and strange sometimes, is the homeless guy who takes you in.
yes.
But like he kind of like, you know, he's grieving over his wife. There's zero romantic interest there.
No.
But even he's like nice to you and he's like,
it seems more like a real character. That seems like that feels real though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you'd be untrusting and you'd be doubtful.
Yeah.
It's more the parts where he's being really nice are the parts that felt less realistic to me. Yeah.
Well,
anyway, yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that, but that is somebody who she does have a regular.
But there's
no romantic.
But the romantic thing there is, well, he's mourning his wife, so he's preoccupied. So that's not even in the realm. It's like Cole. It's like Cole's like your like uncle.
Yeah, he really is just supposed to be like the.
He's like, I've loved you since you were a child as a human that I love, and
I'm not the father figure. I'm not that. You know what I mean? But I am here for you. You know.
So Aiden starts, you know, basically choking out the boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dad freaks out. What the fuck? Told you you're not supposed to play with other kids.
You're a monster.
Yeah. He's about to fucking hit her.
Oh, he's about to beat
and
you.
Aiden's like, and like makes the electricity short out, and Jody goes to her room.
Yeah. I think I knocked a couple other things around too.
Now it's nighttime.
If I remember it. Yeah.
Jody's going to bed. You can go downstairs and overhear the parents arguing. Did you listen to that?
I did listen to the parents' argument. Sad.
Yeah, the father hates her.
The father is a fucking piece of shit.
But also...
deserves to die.
But also... when you learn more about the situation...
No. I disagree with what you're about to say. If you're about to say it's more understandable once you learn more about the situation, they knew. Do you remember when
I know they knew, but I'm wondering if he is... I'm wondering
we don't know what was in the shoebox.
Sure. that could be a big part of it. I'm wondering if this was something he had to do for his job or something. Like I don't understand like what how were they selected? I know they volunteered in some way or they agreed to do it.
It's definitely an adoption process.
But they knew that they knew about Jody's abilities. And so I got the impression that possibly he was someone who also was part of this CIA thing.
Well, they're definitely part of the military at least because later on they get transferred to another base. You know what I mean? So they're definitely to what capacity I don't know, but work for the military.
Right, but I'm just wondering if he's someone who's like, this is like a work test subject that I need to like be responsible for the same way I'd be responsible for like a prisoner transfer or sensitive documents.
I feel like the shoebox would illuminate more on this, and I feel like the shoebox has stuff letting us know that they can't have kids. You know what I mean? Which is why they had to. Maybe they were going to adopt. And so they signed up for this program.
Yeah, I don't know. I just get the impression that he never wanted to do it, and that this is some sort of obligation for him, and that the mother actually does want to be a mother. And I feel like he was just like, I never wanted this thing, and I also probably didn't trust it from the start. I'm not trying to say I relate to him.
No, I hear you.
Because he is. I mean, at some point, you gotta have some humanity.
Yeah, it's a fucking child. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's like it's still just a little. You know what I mean?
But he also doesn't, like, I'm pretty sure at this point, I don't know if they're aware of Aiden. The parents don't seem to really get...
Oh, no, they don't know what it is. They don't know...
I don't even know if they know that it's real. Because the father seems to be saying that, like, Jody's doing this. This is her doing this.
Well, because...
And Jody's trying to explain, like, it's not me. It's... I have someone else who is around me all the time.
As well as just the monster. But I think it's because what they said was because they didn't understand it. You know what I mean? That basically they were like, I lost my fucking train of thought. Because they didn't understand it, how they explained it to them was Jody will develop abilities. Mm-hmm. Which that's not what happens. Jody doesn't have any abilities. Right. You know what I mean? No matter how way you turn it, like she can communicate with him, I guess, kind of. You know what I mean? But by that same thing, anyone could.
Right.
They just can't communicate back. You know what I mean? We can't hear them. But they can hear whatever we're saying. Anyways, it seems like they just thought... So they were under the impression that she would develop abilities, and so these things are happening in his mind are her doing it.
Right.
Because she has
and they're just not.
And they're just not. And also, most of it's her being terrorized, too.
And I think, too, if you say, it's very much like, I don't know, or... I don't know. You know, from Family Circus and all the, you know...
Yeah.
Not me and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who did this? Oh, it was Aiden. And it's like, you're blaming this on your imaginary friend. And it's like, no, I'm not. But also, I'm fucking 5 and... Huh?
Brand new pair of socks.
Damn.
Sorry.
Gotta get those darn Tufts.
I know. They're not. Sorry.
It's good. But so, the father says she's a demon. He, quote, "We agreed to watch over a child, but not that thing."
Yeah.
So Jody goes to sleep, but Aiden is fearful of something. Mm-hmm. As Jody prepares to sleep, the room gets scary again, just like the garage got kind of scary. And Jody begins screaming. Her parents can't open the door. Mm-hmm. You don't see what's going on. Eventually, the father breaks down the door, and Jody's on the floor, covered in scratches, crying, and says... You know, you told me the monsters weren't real. You lied. Like, it was the monsters again.
Did you grab your bun? Your bunny on the bed? Yeah, I did. Before I went to Aiden, I was like, I'll grab the bunny. Maybe the bunny will protect me.
And also, Jody was surprisingly like, Aiden, we're going to sleep. It's going to be okay. Like, she was, like, very, like, I don't know, coherent.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I had, as a child who had night terrors every night, you do kind of go into sleeping with that mindset. Because you're like, because you're kind of like, because you want to sleep. You're fucking tired, you know what I mean? So you go like, tonight, it's not going to happen.
I just popped a couple Ambien when I was a kid. Fall asleep.
Yeah, there you go. I just started smoking weed at like 4.
What paths did you get?
I didn't. What paths did I get for my imaginary friend? Didn't eat a cookie.
I didn't eat a cookie.
I didn't eat a cookie.
I didn't even see the fucking cookies.
I didn't see the cookies either. Behaved well.
I behaved well.
Exited the garage in time.
Correct.
Missed the shoebox.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. Similar paths. Mm-hmm. In fact, identical.
The
Condenser. Scientists have opened a passage to the other side, the realm that Aiden is from. Mm-hmm. Entities are wreaking havoc and slaughtering everyone inside of the lab.
It's going well.
Willem Dafoe wakes up Jody and brings her there to handle it. With Aiden's help, she does...
just that. She handles it. Hopefully. It seems like you probably couldn't based on the paths.
So, you get there, you know, there's just bodies, people fucking crawling out, and you have to basically...
also gives you the option, as Norman Osborn's driving you there,
yeah.
He gives you the option. He goes, I didn't want you to do this, basically. You know, you're the only one who can. Do you want to do this?
Yeah.
And you can say no.
I said, I was like, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah, I said,
and this time I was like,
same.
man, you know, I speaking past tense, just like great actress, just great, you know.
Yeah.
I never understand, like...
Well, actually,
with
actor is just a blanket term now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they don't gender it anymore. So you can just say actor across the board.
I'm going to continue to gender it.
You're going to... Yeah,
God
go ahead.
It.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Uh-huh.
No, but, I never... Like, it seems like every individual has different feelings about how to address themselves in their past if they transition.
And I think that in the obviously, we're two cis white dudes talking about this, so fucking take that into account. But, goddamn, it's an even more complex scenario when you are an actor, you're in the public eye, and you have, like... I could still say Elliot Page played the girl Jody in this game.
It says so on the Steam page.
Exactly. So that's why it's like... You know, it's hard. I guess it's hard. It's a case by case thing, and I guess.
Well, because I mean, some people say like that was me all along, and some people say like I found out later that's who I was, or sometimes it's like I became that person.
Yeah.
You know, it's different for every individual. So if I'm doing anything wrong, forgive me. It's purely out of ignorance.
Yeah, we promise we want to be sensitive.
Yeah.
Can you believe I can't
get Elliot Page on the phone to talk about it?
They not take the call?
No.
They won't respond to any of my DMs. It's been DMs.
Yeah,
it's been years.
I keep apologizing for the very lewd messages I sent a while back, but
They don't read the apologies. They don't read the then more lewd messages I sent after the apology. They don't read when I insult them after they don't respond to anything and get aggressive.
or when I apologize again furiously.
For me.
But anyway, like there were certain points in this where I was like, damn, like just great performance.
Very good.
I really
They're great actors.
I felt like just this person had been so broken and beaten down, and it's like, hey, we have what could be a suicide mission. I don't want you to do it, but like, will you? And it's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
Kind of like that, like accepting that, like it is okay if you do die. You're probably okay with that.
Yeah.
But also being like that weird like growing up too fast thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like I don't know how old she is in this scene either.
No,
She
and
could be
also,
she's like 16 maybe.
like understanding the responsibility you have as the person with Aiden. you know?
Exactly. Like that like this isn't, you could go the Harry Potter route and just be like, I don't want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm afraid. But instead she
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, because I hate that in a character.
So, so this is where it introduces the flashback mechanic, where you have to go up to corpses and you can like.
Oh yeah, you're
you're
channeling them.
Yeah, so you have to like take the two control sticks and create a channel, literally like a river of energy between their skull and yours.
Yep.
This was so confusing to me at first, and I was like, oh, now I get it. But like,
it took a minute to get. It took me a minute to get this right.
like, did you play the Arkham games at all?
Yeah. I only played Arkham City.
Okay, well, did it have the thing where you have to like figure out the radio frequency and like use the two control sticks to even it out?
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe something like that where I have to get the two sticks in the right position.
Right.
But this is literally just like you pretty much do the same action every time, almost.
Yeah,
it's not like a puzzle.
And sometimes it's like the distances are different. You know
right,
what I mean?
but it's pretty much just like, 1 point is this and 1 point's this, and you just create an arc, and it you have to like let it flow for like 2 or 3 seconds, and sometimes like, am I doing it? And it's like, yeah. Sometimes it's like,
yeah, they have to like turn blue, but like the color it is already is.
And
like,
there it is.
It's this thing where you have green dots, and they're supposed to turn blue when you put them in the correct spot on that thing. But
I never noticed that.
But the stream of stuff that you're supposed to put it on is also blue, and the color green that they are isn't that far off from the teal that they're about to change into. So it's kind of fucking really hard to tell. This part was like, these moments were like as frustrating for me as the healing, which I think we skipped over. She like hurts her knee earlier in the game at some point.
Right,
and
you have to use a healing
mechanic. As Aiden, which is where you just hold the two little dots. Yeah, as Aiden also, you're just two little dots a lot of the time, which are the two thumbsticks. And you just have to hold them, keep them held over the injury, but the problem is that they want to, it's like trying to hold two magnets together.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Where it just keeps like pushing away from the spot on purpose, so it makes it harder than it needs to be.
Yeah. Confusing. This section also kind of introduced like some like horror type elements. It tried to, at least. Mm-hmm. I would say mixed success. Yeah. I laughed at some of it.
It's not scary. It's just not scary.
So you need to go deep into the lab, and the thing is, this is a government lab.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe is a government employee. Mm-hmm. He said something like, I wish I could get the exact quote, because like it's somewhere on like the second floor. That's all they could tell me.
Well, he said it's somewhere in the basement.
Yeah.
He said it's in the basement. That's all I know.
And it's like, this is one of the biggest CIA government programs.
Now the DPI, baby.
Huge. This is a fucking huge thing. You're in an arms race against other countries and everything. This is enormous. Mm-hmm. No one has like a layout of the building. Like, it's like, you gotta go in the basement. Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything else.
I don't know.
Sorry, you're gonna have to figure it out on your own. Mm-hmm. That's all they would tell me. It's like, you're sending this person in on what is possibly the most critical mission that has ever occurred in our nation's history. Yeah. Maybe in the history of like recorded history.
Yeah.
Because if this thing doesn't get shut down, if this portal doesn't get shut down,
If this fails,
entities from another realm could overpower our existence.
which we simply don't know how to fight against.
And there's no one
they
who can
just
go,
kill
hey,
everyone.
I can at least give you a map of the building.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there's blueprints and schematics of every building.
Yeah,
There,
right.
you
I
get
just
one
sent
for
you
your
a PDF.
fucking house.
You know what I mean? Like,
You know what I mean?
Anything at all.
Anything. And it's like, sorry, you just got to figure it out.
Yeah.
No, zero intel? I thought that was such bad writing. That seems so absurd.
It's really silly, and in the sense that it's funny that like Willem Dafoe in the car, and this could be like indicative of his character too. This could be a character development moment. But in the car, he's like, I don't want you to be here. I don't want you to do this. They've told me that you're the only one who can do it. I told him no. I told him not to ask you. As you're entering the building, somebody's like, isn't she just a kid? And he's like, she's the only one that can do it. And you're like, well, just a minute ago, weren't you like, we have to find another way? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, kind of rough. Anyway, what you need to do is make your way to the base of the building. As you're doing so, you see like just the blood,
It's just bodies and
bodies. You're looking at memories. When you fucking mind meld with a corpse, you can see like how it
You see like the
became
last
a corpse
moments of their life.
You know, yeah. You see like a dead soldier, and as you approach it, it like wakes up, and grabs you, goes. I think he says, like, don't go in there. There's nothing but death.
Yeah. That's how he delivers
Made
it too.
no sense.
There's nothing but
It was as if he was like a flying, flaming skull that was like, it's all dead. And then he drops dead again.
And then
It's
he's
like,
dead.
was he saving his last bit of energy to scare the shit out of this girl?
Uh-huh. I never understand those scenes in movies.
That
where
made
I'm
no
like,
sense.
Yeah, uh-huh.
That was terrible.
No.
It was just made no. It was. I could. It was.
Like
It
you
was
said, I
like
think they were trying to
don't
put some
go in there.
scariness.
Like it's like I'm dying, but you. He said it as if he was possessed.
Yeah.
Which he's not.
No. Because it would have to be Aiden possessing him. And as we'll learn later, Aiden can't speak very well.
Right. Or yeah.
Or at all.
It doesn't. Yeah. At one point a burning man crashes through a wall and runs at you.
Which like it doesn't make sense that like everyone's dead, but some people are like right now in the process of dying.
Yeah.
Even though there's like no entities around, and the entities have killed everyone, but now they're just not around
Yeah.
as you're going through.
That doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
either. Where did they go?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Where do they go? Entity. I wanna know.
I don't know that one though. Is that a Morrissey?
Where do you go?
Is that a Morrissey
My
one?
lovely. I wanna know. Where do you go? Oh, 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 hey, oh. Isn't that the song? Isn't that the song that fucking, what's the song that the Night the Roxbury guys do?
What is
headbang-
that?
It's a song
Baby,
like
don't
that.
hurt
It's the
me.
same.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
same genre.
Oh, okay.
If entities, this went in my notes. If entities can choke people and go through walls, why don't they just choke out Jody?
I know. They're always like grabbing at
Because
her
like
ankles.
as you progress through the building, you're getting closer and closer. You have to go. There's like all these containment chambers and like hallways and corridors you're going through. Eventually, there's like a I don't understand like Aiden can't speak when we see later he possesses someone and they're like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, but then one of the people gets possessed and they're like, you little bitch, I'm gonna murder you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, so they can speak?
Maybe, I mean, like, I'm sure maybe some of the entities have that capability. You know what I mean?
Is that
I
what you
don't know.
think? That doesn't make it.
It doesn't make any sense.
That
No, it
sucks.
doesn't make any sense. I hear you. There's also like clearly
because
different.
the other ones that because sometimes they possess.
Why is there a whale entity, Matt? When they're all people, why is there a whale entity?
Where's the whale entity?
It's fucking slamming up against the glass. Maybe it's not a whale. It's a giant sea monster.
Where?
The final level of the game.
Oh, we'll get there.
Yeah, but like, you know what I mean? Like, why does that entity exist?
That makes no sense. But also, like,
Also,
they're corpses. They're half the time they're corpses.
Yeah. Also, if you can rip, like, some of these people are eviscerated. Like, they're not all choked out. Like, they're cutting these people up. Why do they just keep grabbing your ankles and, like, scratching you?
Well, that's what I have. So as you go deeper into the building, eventually, like, the entities are, like, possessing all the corpses and, like, coming at you.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you not attacking directly? Why attack indirectly?
Yeah, why do this?
I understand that it's, like, how the game works. If she just got choked out, then there'd be no game.
Yes.
But the logic is not there.
It's not there at all. It just doesn't exist because
they're trying to spook her with and then also entities can travel through walls.
Yeah.
But she sometimes closes the door and is like, I'm safe. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. This is like the most poorly written chapter in the game because so much happens that like it's like then she's like, they don't see me. I'm like hiding behind a fucking like hiding can see through walls.
Don't be too close to the entities. They'll see you. And I'm like, I see people glowing behind walls. Like they stand out to me.
So basically you need to go through, like, you're like climbing up a bunch of scaffolding. You have to like, you see a power thing, it doesn't work. So you see another like power controller in the far corner of the room. You have to like go across all this catwalk and
you have to like
ladders.
switch between running as Jodie and then being Aiden.
Yeah, and Aiden has to like throw entities off you. And they look like fucking radioactive sperms.
Yeah, they look like a Haunter from Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like,
without a face.
Without a face. Like, no face, that's Haunter from Pokemon. Or, there's that fucking game I played, The Darkness.
Oh, I read the comics, but the game looks sick.
It is pretty sick. It's actually a bad game. It could be way cooler, and it's just not done very well. I thought. I played The Darkness 2 also, so who knows? The first one might have been great. But The Darkness 2, that's what the enemies in The Darkness 2 look like, because you're just kind of fighting, not all of them, you're fighting people, but there's like spirits, and that's kind of what they look like. They were just kind of cheesy and not scary.
Yeah. So eventually you get through. I got hit by almost every attack in this part.
Did you?
Because I kept going, I gotta dodge this way or that way, and I was like, no, you picked the wrong way.
I did. Okay, so I'd say about at least half of those I did fuck up. I was like, every time I was Aiden and I got to fight them, I nailed that.
Oh, I did that. But when I was Jodie, I was running. It's like, they're coming at you. I'm like, okay, obviously I'm going to move this way. It's like, that's not the way you were supposed to move.
Or obviously I'm going to duck because it's coming at the back of my head. And then instead she's like, you know what I mean? You're like, no, I'm not. What are you
Terrible. Terrible design. I hated it.
So mad.
So you do it. Everyone's impressed. And I just have my notes here. They really should have made the character movement thing more clear.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't write that down, but I fucking hate it. It's my major complaint.
Paths. I missed bodies to channel.
Yeah, same. I didn't know. I thought I was pretty thorough.
I thought I was too.
Yeah. It makes me feel better that you missed them too, though.
Did you kill the possessed scientist?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And did you shut down the condenser?
Yeah. You have to.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a path where you don't, but I did it.
Jesus Christ. Homeless. Well, as you can tell by the title.
Things aren't going great for Jodie.
So, Jodie's homeless, as the title would suggest. I have my notes here. So you're shambling toward a payphone.
Uh-huh.
You call Willem Dafoe. And he's like, Jodie, where are you? Is this what you did?
I don't think I called Willem Dafoe.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't remember talking
I went to the payphone.
I just shambled.
I called him. I shambled and then interacted with the payphone. And she's like, and he's like, where are you? And she goes, and just hangs up. Doesn't say a thing to him.
I don't think I did that.
And then she collapses.
Oh, no, I definitely didn't do that. Because I just shambled for a while. I switched to Aiden to see if there was anything I could interact with or do anything with.
There's a homeless man digging through some cans.
And I collapsed.
Yeah.
And so then I go and
I jostled enough things around him to make him look.
I threw his cart. Yeah, I made his cart slide. And he comes over and he picks you up.
His name's Stan. Dear Stan.
Dear Stan.
Dear Mister, I'm too big to call right my fans.
Oh, hey, Stan. Hey, Stan.
I get rescued by a guy named Stan who brings me into a homeless camp under a bridge.
It's pretty sick setup, honestly.
Yeah, it's like a big overpass kind of bridge, and everyone's got their own quarters.
Yeah, and they got like boxes and shit and like fence.
He's got like an old TV that's been hollowed out. It's got like candles in it or something.
I always love seeing shit like that where it's just like silliness. Like I don't think a homeless Like, you're not going to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you're worried about survival.
So there's an old black guy named Walter who's just like, who's always just like,
He's just drinking.
yeah, he's drinking and he's like, oh, you know, just to everything, just like
He's really stoked on everything.
Oh.
I can't tell if he's scared or excited
Yeah.
about it. Like, it's that kind of reaction.
There's Jimmy, who's like got syringes all around him and stuff. He's a metalhead. I looked at his albums; they're all metal.
Yeah.
He's a fucking heroin addict
And a
metal
schizophrenic,
guy.
I believe, too.
Oh, really?
I think Stan mentions that at some point in the during this.
Then there's Tuesday, who is named after the day that she left her abusive husband.
Which is the... I mean, I'll just come out and say it. It's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, why would you want for the rest of your life to be reminded of the day that your husband almost beat you to death, so you left? You know
It's
what I
the
mean?
day she started her new life.
No, Wednesday would have been that day. That day would have been Wednesday.
It started immediately, okay?
I hear you. Tuesday, I wouldn't count that. I'd count that as the day you ended your old life.
Tuesday's
and
gone.
began
So,
your recovery.
Tuesday's pregnant. Tuesday's pregnant. So I walk around this homeless encampment. I'm like, wow, you saved me? And it's like, yeah, you were in pretty bad shape. You're like, oh, I kind of wish you didn't. You know, you're feeling like real bad.
You're not feeling good, yeah. Did you wander outside?
I started to. I saw a knife stuck into a big tire.
Yeah?
I picked it up. And I had the option to slit my wrists or put it back down.
Jesus Christ. Well, the reason I asked you if you went outside was because I went outside, and you're on an overpass, obviously,
Yeah.
and I go and I look down at the cars, and you're given the option to jump or not.
Okay. There's a tire right before you get to that point, and there's a knife in the tire. I was like, oh, maybe I should grab a knife to protect myself in case I'm vulnerable here, you know? And I'm like sitting there like contemplating like slitting my wrist, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna kill myself right now.
Jesus Christ.
Okay,
I don't think it would
Jody's suicidal.
And I don't think it would let you based on the path, the way it's worded at the end, you know what I mean? Because what it says is, didn't attempt suicide. Which would imply that. Because half of me was like, oh, I'm going to kill Jody right here. I know there's 14 chapters left. I'm just going to kill myself. Like...
But after you can walk around, you can talk to people, you can check stuff out, but then it's like, hey, we're out of food, we got to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
Do you want to see how things work around here? And Jody's like, yeah, all right. He's like, all right, well, follow me. You have to go begging for change. So you're sitting there with
Stan the guitar man.
Stan. Stan.
Yes.
I'm trying
Hey,
to do...
Stan. Excuse me, Stan. Oh, hey, bud. Or what is it when he has his balls in the microwave? Hey, Stan. Would you give me a beer, Stan? Stan?
So Stan's like begging. Do you stay with him or did you go do your own thing?
I got up pretty quick.
I was like, it doesn't make sense for us both to be in the same spot.
It doesn't.
So I went down and I found a spot to beg.
Oh, did you? Okay, that's not what I did.
Oh, well, I made a sign.
Oh, did you?
It let you pick which type of sign you could make. You could go for like sympathetic, amusing, blah blah blah. I chose amusing.
I would have picked like the end is nigh.
My sign said, "Homeless search food." Okay, which makes no sense to me.
No.
A guy walks up and says, "That's awesome," and gives me $1.
That's like those signs where it's like, need money for weed, you know what I mean? And you're like, that's funny, dude, you're being honest, or like, need money for drugs, you know?
Right,
like,
but homeless search food doesn't make any sense grammatically.
And it's not funny either.
It's not, I wouldn't, if it said like, I'm a useless cunt that like got herself homeless. Like maybe I'd be like, whoa.
I'm a dumb bitch who got beat into being homeless.
I feel like, Jesus Christ, that's ballsy. Here's some money.
Here's $5.
But also, if I see homeless people, you know, often I usually give them a 20 the first time I see them, and then I fucking never look at them again.
I just avoid eye contact most of the time.
I always try to give somebody a little cash.
I've had stuff stolen from me
that
by
sucks.
homeless people, and I mean, which is not a way to judge everybody. If you're polite to me, I will not be mean to you. But most of the time, I'm just gonna fucking ignore you. You know what I mean? I've had shit stolen. So
as I'm doing this,
yeah, as you're
across the street, I see a surly character. Did you also see this person?
What's he look like? Describe him more. Surly's not enough of a descriptor.
It almost looked like there was a halo over him, like it was shining.
Is he also homeless?
No.
No? Okay, no.
No. I walk over to this guy.
Oh,
He's standing up against the building.
I know who you're talking about.
Did you have an interaction before this?
Yeah, so what happened with me was I crossed the street. I didn't stay on that side of the road.
Okay.
Crossed the street, went to a newspaper thing, used Aiden to bust it and steal a bunch of quarters.
Wow.
I used Aiden to get a bunch of quarters from that. She picks them all up. And then it wasn't enough though. So
yeah, you need $5 to try to get something hot.
Yeah, so then I keep walking, and I see that guy leaning up against the building. Mm-hmm. And it seems that you can interact with him. So like I think I motioned to him, I did the thing or whatever to like talk to him. And you want to take it from here? Because I imagine we had the same...
Yeah, so he goes, hey, sweetie, what's going on? Mm-hmm. And as it triggers, the camera locks, so you're like in conversation with him.
Yeah.
A person is about to cross between us, and the camera locks, and so the entire time I'm talking, there's an NPC in its walk animation stuck between me and the guy. Yeah. So it's terribly awkward. But basically, it's like, you want to make $10? I'm like, do I want to make $10? Yes. That's 2 hot meals.
Right.
Okay, go suck his dick behind the fucking building.
Did you do it?
I said, yeah, I'll do it.
You did it?
Did you say yes?
No, I didn't do it. You did it? You did it?
I go, yeah, all right, let's go.
I walk by and he goes, hey, I know you can make a few dollars real quick. And I was like, this guy's fucking gross. And I kept walking. And then if you walk a little further, there's this nice other homeless guy who's got a guitar. And he's like, my hands are too cold. I can't play anymore. And you're like, do you care if I play? And he's like, go for it.
Because Jody knows how to play.
And so I played guitar for like...
Electric or acoustic?
It's acoustic. And you're just, it's like, she's written some Moldy Peaches song that she sits there and sings, you know what I mean? Fucking Iron and Wine, you know, whatever. It's sad as fuck. She makes a bunch of money though. Because you can stop right away or you can keep going, and I played until it got dark, and you made enough money to give the other guy some money, and then you bring enough money back to where he's like, where'd you get all this money, Jody? What'd you do? Just suck a dick for all this money?
That is not my experience.
I bet because you sucked a dude's dick for $10, which is not enough money.
I go behind the building.
That's a good-looking girl.
And I'm like...
$10?
Oh, she's a little roughed up at that point.
You could talk it up to at least 40.
Her face is all bloated.
You could talk it up to 40.
I go behind the building, and he's like, well, I'm like... He like points to his dick. Uh-huh. I kneel down, and I got my face...
Uh-huh.
I go, I can't, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry. He goes, you can't? What? Bitch? And he, you know.
Why do these games do this?
Aiden intervenes.
Uh-huh, does he?
Chokes him out.
Does he kill him?
No.
No.
But he's like, you crazy bitch, and he leaves.
Uh-huh.
But I was ready to suck his dick clean off.
You were already sucking dry.
All around, you know when sometimes when you spill a cup of coffee on the ground and it's like in the snow, it like looks like weird diarrhea.
Yeah.
There's like weird stains like that all over the place in the snow here. I'm assuming it's piss or something, but it looks so gross.
It's either that or it's like runoff from the gutters and shit.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah,
it looks so gross.
It looks like a gross place. It seems like you're not the only homeless people in this area.
So
on Skid Row.
I go back to Stan. I have $1. I made the $1 from when the guy said my sign was awesome. And he goes, how'd you do? And I pull out like a bunch of change. And it's like,
you're like, I got a $1 bill.
And he's like, ugh. And he pulls out his change. He goes, it's not much, but we'll see what we can do. Mm-hmm. He goes in the grocery store. He comes out with a bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. But then 4 hooligans
come up. Yeah, a bunch of fucking...
And they've got one of those... I've seen this style camera before. It's like the weird handy cam. It's like the vertical handy cam.
Yeah.
Where it's instead of like the, traditional, like we're shooting on, like a camcorder, or like a horizontal one. It's like the ones that are like...
Yeah, that was a weird era. It was like right in the heart of like when you could get MP3 players that didn't all look the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different... like.
I'll put a picture of what it looks like up here, but they say like, oh, they get those cameras with the phones, and they mentioned something like that. It's like, that wasn't a phone.
No, that was
not a phone.
That's like, I had one of those flip cameras. That was the first one that looked kind of like a phone, but it was just a little camera, you know what I mean?
So they're doing like a I wouldn't call it bum fights, but they're doing like hardcore bum fights where it's like, instead of filming 2 homeless people fighting, We're filming ourselves beating homeless people.
Yeah, they're basically just filming evidence for the police.
Yeah, they're making snuff films.
Yeah.
So I thought,
Three guys,
Aiden
one
will
hammer.
intervene.
Yeah.
No,
he can't.
she
Why would he?
beats up fucking 4 guys.
Yeah. I took a couple baseball bats to the gut.
Yeah, I did
And
too.
he got slammed
I
into
fucked
a
up
pillar.
a bit, but I won the fight. Did you?
Yeah, no, I won the fight. Yeah.
We go back. We go back.
Yeah.
What are you eating? You guys make dinner?
Yeah, he makes a
Hot, because you got hot food.
He makes a great big hot stew, and I believe you guys have bread with it too, or
So
something.
everyone's sitting around eating together.
Yeah. You're all
You know what they're eating in mine? You know, there's like the Folgers coffee cans that are like this wide. There's like a chock full of nuts ones that are like this.
Yeah.
They're like maybe like
Yeah.
I don't know how. It's a can. It's maybe like
It's not quite
6 or 7 inches
Yeah.
tall, and
It's-
then maybe like
It's not
4
a soup
inches in
can.
diameter.
It's also not a 10 can.
right.
You know what I mean?
It's
that
bigger
middle
than
ground.
a soup can, but not as big as a coffee can.
Yeah.
Everyone's eating one of those, full of tuna. When have you ever seen tuna fish come in a can?
It doesn't
that
come in those.
size. Tuna, a can the size of a hockey puck
Yeah.
is between $4 and $12, depending on the quality of the
Yeah,
tuna.
and also that's a standard amount of tuna. And then you can also get like so there's the regular, like you said, the hockey puck.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you do want to go big, they do make larger ones, but they're just like kind of 2 hockey pucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like a hockey puck stacked on top of another. Maybe it's a little bit wider.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They make it a little more like chode like. And also, like you said, between 4 to like, if I'm getting a 4-pack of tuna, regular hockey puck size cans, I bought this recently. That's like $8.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
No.
And if you get good stuff like wild caught or whatever,
Yeah,
and
like solid albacore. You're
Yeah.
not getting chunk light. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? This is
it can be pretty expensive. Even the cheapest stuff though is like a few dollars for a can.
Like if you're getting like a chicken of the sea,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or Charlie 2NA. A little Starkist tuna. I'm Charlie Tuna. But
they're all eating giant cans of tuna. I go,
doesn't
that
make
is
any
insane.
sense.
And he's like, dinner's ready. And it's like, did you heat up the tuna? Because
what preparation took place? Did you just open the cans? I don't know. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, we're all eating like soups. Like SpaghettiOs style shit. You
that'd
know
be
what I mean?
great. Mm-hmm. They're talking to me. They're like, what's
Yeah.
up with you? I go, I have an entity
Yeah,
that
same.
follows me. I'm straight up with them.
Very honest. I try to always be honest.
And Walter's like, guess Jimmy's not the only one with a drug problem.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too. I was into that line.
But then we're done. We're eating. And I'm like, Zoe, you want to know about your baby?
You did Zoe?
Your baby's okay.
Yeah.
I go, Jimmy, your leg hurts? I heal Jimmy's leg. And I go, Stan, you want to talk to your wife? And I channel his dead wife and speak, and I'm speaking. He's like, it's you. I don't know how. Because Jody's just like, it's okay.
Your voice changes. You take on her voice.
Your voice changes.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
that's
take
it.
on her
Okay,
voice.
you're
That's
right.
how we knew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also this part frustrated.
But I didn't touch Walter.
You didn't touch Walter? How
Did
could
you?
you? No, because I went to Stan first.
And that ended
And if you go to Stan first, it ends it. Which pissed me off.
Because after I
He's right there. He's right there.
after I finished everything with Stan, Walter goes, "It's a miracle.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn miracle."
I know.
Oh, he's always like,
I want to know what's going on with him.
believe it.
Yeah.
Oh my. Oh, he's like old time. Oh. It's like he
Didn't he say
shudders
he was like
as
a
he
retired
speaks.
school teacher too? Isn't that
I don't
what it
remember
was?
that.
He was an elementary school teacher.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's are you cold? I don't
know.
It's
I wanted to know what was going on with him though, and it was like
it's kind of like the Gravedigger
Do you think
thing,
he's
but
voiced
less
by the
racist.
same guy?
I looked it up. He's not.
oh, okay.
Because the Gravedigger guy, I mean, is like you know.
Oh, it's
he's also doing a ho, but he's doing a ho in like a way more racist way.
Yeah, in a way more. Yeah, I can't. I
don't
almost did. I'm almost doing it every moment we bring it up. I'm almost doing it, but I know I cannot.
It's hard to. If you actually do it, it is a voice.
Yeah, and there's usually like 2 words that go with it that like you can't really say either of those. You know what I mean? They both begin with M's, and neither one comes out well.
Anyway, so when we go back to the camp, we're all eating giant things of tuna.
You're all eating your big fucking tuna cans. You're all eating your gourmet.
I go to sleep. Fish. You pass out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Zoe is giving. Not Zoe. Zoe's the baby. Tuesday is suddenly giving birth. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. I'll get into it later.
Okay.
But let's say this is your first night here that you're conscious. Mm-hmm. You've been there for. I think you were there for like a week or something.
There for 2 weeks or something like that. He said
out.
Yeah. Which is
in like a mild coma.
Yeah, which is also I'm like, how are you alive? Period. You know what I mean? Because like, she's like, you took care of me. It's like you can't eat. You don't have an IV drip here.
I give you an IV and also I change your diaper.
I put in a feeding tube and I've been changing your diaper for you for 2 weeks. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, no. You are going to want to change because...
You're going to want to clean yourself.
That is... I'm looking at Jordan, your dick and balls, and it is...
It's an absolute mess. Frankly, I don't know where they are anymore. Beneath all of the
fecal matter.
The fecal matter in mushrooms that have started to grow. There's a fungal family.
So... Jimmy and Walter take Zoe. Mm-hmm. Or I keep saying Zoe.
Tuesday. Because Tuesday's not a real
name. Jimmy and Walter take Tuesday. Uh-huh. Stan's like, we got to get supplies. Mm-hmm. And so you go, and you're like, what's the plan? He's like, I don't have a plan, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
His plan is to stand outside of the supermarket and hope it opens up.
Yeah, I know. It's so fucking dumb.
It's like, so there's an abandoned house nearby, an abandoned building.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I don't want that baby to like be born on under a bridge. I want it to be have a better shot at life.
Yeah.
So they bring it, which is not that much better.
It's not any better.
It at least has walls.
Yeah, but they had a pretty solid thing going on under that.
I know. It seemed like they had enough. They weren't freezing to death.
Yeah, it seemed like they were doing a good job.
Yeah. So whatever.
Sorry.
It doesn't make much sense to me. But I sure.
As two people who have been in difficult.
Sentimental.
As 2 people who have been in difficult living situations, they didn't seem horrible.
No. The fact that you could sleep outside in the winter for 2 weeks and not freeze to death.
Yeah. They had mattresses.
Yeah, you're probably doing okay.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were very much shielded from the elements, although it was probably uncomfortable.
Yes. Anyway.
I break into the supermarket.
Yeah.
I use Aiden.
Mm-hmm. Flawlessly.
And I was not flawless.
No?
Was there a surveillance camera I missed?
There was, yeah.
I looked everywhere, I couldn't find it.
It's right at the entrance.
Couldn't find it.
Like right when you walk in, like above like there's like the little gates, you know what I mean? It's like right above that.
Didn't see it.
You gotta raise Aiden up and down too. You gotta use the change height.
Yeah, you use like the triggers or the shoulder buttons to like go up and down, which is like, that's how like on PlayStation before they had dual sticks.
Yeah.
Like you'd move the D-pad and look up and down with the bumpers.
Right. That's how they do it. Like it's weird because the way Aiden controlled is really like how you control like when you go into like free camera. Mm-hmm. In like a lot of multiplayer games or whatever, when you're rewatching stuff, like that's exactly how it handled.
Like photo mode.
Yeah, exactly. It just handled like photo mode.
Yeah. Whereas I thought it could have been a lot more intuitive if they just used the 2 control sticks, and he was kind of like, like that.
Oh, I hear you. That would have been great.
It's not like it hadn't been done many times before over the past previous 7 years before this game came out.
It's not like that was literally how they had started designing games at that point.
But anyway, you get your supplies. You head to the thing. And your supplies are like
he grabs
diapers,
a blanket,
which it's like the supermarket has this shit.
Yeah, I mean if it's like a. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes,
it didn't seem like a big chain. It seemed like a locally owned. It seemed like a Yando's.
Yeah, I was gonna say literally Yando's. It gave me hardcore Yando's vibes.
Yeah, which is a big M, which I don't. There some people have big M's around, but it seemed like a small locally owned supermarket.
Yeah, like an IGA. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Sure. I think IGA is still a chain.
Yeah, but they're smaller. All the ones I've ever interacted with have been small.
Well,
They've also
You go to
been-
the building.
They've also been in failing towns where they closed down before, within my lifetime. So,
There was one in Potsdam, wasn't there?
and Plattsburgh too. Or actually, no. Growing up in Dannemora, there was an IGA in Dannemora. Now it's a Ford dealership.
I'm not sure how they moved Tuesday
Oh,
all the way from the thing to the building.
I don't know how
but they did.
how like a heroin addict with a hurt knee, because I didn't fix his knee.
Okay.
And
like a pretty old
drunk guy who's like just shaking all the time. You know what I mean? Managed to carry this pregnant woman a couple blocks and a few stories up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like down, around, and up.
Yeah. Faster than you were able to get like a blanket and some water. It's also like, get fucking anything, dude. Like, why are you getting this?
Tuesday's like, get the guys out of here. I want Jody to help me.
Yes.
Jody's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. She's like, yeah, but I didn't want those guys seeing me writhing around in pain.
No, she didn't want them just standing there staring at her doing nothing.
Okay.
Was what she said. She was like, the way I took it was she didn't want them just standing there being like, what do we do? What do we do?
I don't want them looking at my big pussy.
That's what I thought that's where I thought it was heading, and that's not where it.
But I'm assuming
I didn't think she was going to mind it too much. You know, you're homeless.
homeless people have no dignity.
You just almost sucked a dick. Day one.
Listen, I'm not the one who said they should leave. So
I'm not the one who said I couldn't do it.
She gives birth with my instructions.
Yeah.
The baby comes out, full head of hair, which happens. I've ever held a newborn, but this baby was like the size.
It was like a toddler.
It was a toddler. It was not.
One of my friends.
That was not. Fucking 0 point baby. That was
No.
a few months at least.
Yeah, like a baby. I remember my fucking what was it? My one of my best friends from high school had a baby, and the first baby came out, heavy baby, like 16 pounds. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's a heavy baby. Mm-hmm. You know, like 20 pounds is like that's a huge fucking baby. You know what I mean? Most babies are like 10 pounds.
This baby was so big.
This baby was.
It was as if you were like, draw a baby, and it was like, yeah, a baby. But a newborn is usually.
It's like delicate. A newborn's like delicate.
It was.
A newborn's like, I'm getting the whole thing right here, and there's probably a little bit of space. I've got to bring it in a little.
No.
So that is a little bit.
That baby, you would have had to like go like this with it.
Newborn, you can hold like this,
Yeah.
and its legs are going, or you know what I mean? It's just the torso and head right here. This was like, I would have had to literally cradle it.
It was a huge.
Yeah, it was a full-grown baby.
And I'm assuming it's just because Tuesday had an enormous gash.
She's got a huge pussy, yeah, that's probably what it was.
Giant snatch.
That's how it works.
Bigger the pussy, the bigger the baby. I was like, oh my god, have they never seen a baby? And I asked Eve, I was like, is that? And she said, well, they have the hair. I don't know. The baby's gonna be kind of big. I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I believe her, but also I thought it was absurd.
As I said before, I don't think any of these people have good relationships with women. Also going to go out on a limb here and say that maybe none of them have seen a vagina up close or a baby being born.
You cut the cord, which I really enjoyed.
Yes, that you had to cut the umbilical cord.
Then we all go to sleep. The baby's named Zoe. Her name is Zoe.
Because I loved Zoe 101.
I fall asleep. I wake up. Now, when you started this mission, you had all these weird flashes of like, Jody, no! And they're like a building on fire. Well,
here we go.
This is where it kind of like shows like Jody has dreams of the future, which becomes a theme throughout the rest of the game as well, which is never explored or explained or even really made a focal point. It's just occasionally she'll see a glimpse of something and they never really talk about it.
I love how you just presented that.
But that's about it. Yeah. It just happens sometimes and you think it could be like a major plot point.
Oh wow, I bet you maybe they're going to use this later. I bet you that'll come in handy.
It just occasionally happens and is almost never, it's never addressed. It's literally not addressed ever and is never used to progress the story.
No.
But it
fucking A.
foreshadowed that the building will be on fire. So the whole time that you're doing this, you're like, at what point am I... Because when they were like, Jody, no! I was like, did she fucking burn these people?
Yeah, I'm like, does something go wrong? Or my thought was, I'm like, does the CIA find me? You know what I mean? Because I'm assuming, based on the timeline, this is right after you just blew up the helicopter and shit. You know what I mean? Like, this is while you're on the run.
But her face was all bloated. That's the thing that confused me. I was like, how, where, at what point in time is this? Because she looks physically different than she did at any other point in the game.
Yeah, well, I would imagine it's from, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But she looked super bloated,
maybe.
right?
Yeah, she did. Her face was all fucked up. But I also was like, maybe.
I was like, oh, homeless people get thinner.
Yeah, maybe she get. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did she get beat up?
I don't see how she could.
Yeah, we don't see her get beat up. Yeah, she's really good at not getting beat up. So.
I get everyone out of the building.
Yeah.
Hurry them on. You saved everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I saved everybody. Yeah.
And then I go to jump out. I have to leap out a window.
Yeah.
And this is very similar. It's giving me fucking End of Heavy Rain vibes. Mm-hmm. The burning building with Madison.
Yep. I escaped the building.
Uh-huh.
I didn't escape the building. Like I didn't find a way out.
I jumped out of a window.
I didn't find a way out, and it was like suddenly they're all outside, like standing there waiting for you, and then Stan runs back in and saves me.
I jumped out of a window, and Aiden created a protective bubble around me and helped me make the landing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's another thing that Aiden does that he can't always do. Only does it when you tell him to.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's when it makes sense and when you need to. But like, I feel like there'd be other parts where it'd be handy to just do that the whole time. You know what I mean? But anyways,
hey, Aiden, can you just put like a protection around me?
Just do this? Well, I save all these people from the fire. Not when I jump out the window, but the whole time. Could you do that?
There is one time where I'm like, we need to walk through the flames, and he puts a barrier around us.
Trust me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like again, whole time. Why is it just for that moment? Is it too much energy? That's the other thing I don't understand is like how
it's never
made clear.
And it's never like, oh no, you're using too much energy. It's just kind of like, you present it as if you have a limitless ability to do this.
Yeah, but maybe you're just a little petty. Maybe Aiden's just a little petty. Aiden.
And he is sometimes.
But I didn't get out. I didn't make it out. I mean, I did. Stan goes back in and saves me, yeah.
But as soon as I got out, the thugs from earlier show up, and they're like, we set the building on fire.
Yeah? I don't think that part happened for me.
Oh, what happened to you?
I don't remember. Let me look at... Because I wrote down a little bit of stuff. No, I didn't, because that was one of my paths, was didn't learn the fate of the thugs. So I don't know. I don't know why.
How did the rest of this chapter go for you?
I remember it ending. I get out of the window or whatever. I mean, not out of the window. You just said that. Sorry. Stan carries me out. I think it just ends there. Because I remember being very confused about the next time that you're in this era, where I was like, what happened with the homeless thing, though? Because I feel like it just kind of ends. Like, I don't remember her saying goodbye. I could be misremembering, too, but I really feel like it ended right after the fire.
I jump out of the building. The homeless guys come, crack me in the head with the bat.
Yeah?
I'm on the ground, nugget, split wide open.
Just gushing. They
are trying to murder everyone. They go, crazy, a little lighter fluid and a match, and the roaches come running out. Jesus. And they film my murder. They murder me. They broke my skull. I'm on the ground.
Yeah.
Skull cracked open, blood rushing out.
Yeah, and it's cold. You're gonna die there.
And they're like, and they filmed it. They're like, did you get it? Yeah, and then go. Everyone's like, oh my fucking God. Mm-hmm. I wake up, I'm in the hospital. It's months later.
Yes, I woke up in the hospital. Yes, but it's from the smoke inhalation and stuff, I'd imagine.
Okay.
Because like Stan carries me out, you're just unconscious.
Well, there's a newspaper clipping on the wall that was like, oh, they all got arrested.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
There you go. That's good. I didn't see that. But I didn't figure out the fate of the... Yeah, I don't know what I did differently to not see the thugs.
You probably just didn't find the exit.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what it was. Was that I didn't get out.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, here. I go through some strange odd body experience. I want to die, but Aiden brings me back to reality. And that's when I wake up in the hospital.
Oh, okay, I didn't do that.
Okay. Well, I go through, I see that like I see myself being torn away from my mother, who's not the same mother I knew from the earlier scenes.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I want my baby back.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I want my baby back.
There's like a TV with static on it. I'm like looking at it, I'm like going into the TV and shit. It's all crazy.
Okay.
And then like there's a montage of scenes of people visiting me while I'm in a coma.
Maybe this did happen. I feel like this was later, though. And it wasn't... It must have happened. God damn it.
So, I wake up in the hospital, because what happens, I look at the different objects in the room, and every time I look at an object, I channel a memory of how that person visited me. And I see a photograph, and everybody, no one's homeless anymore. They're all cleaned up, they're all healthy. And they're like, oh, you inspired us so much. It's like, she was literally there for one day consciously, and had that much of an impact on everyone.
I don't think any of that happened for me. Now that you're, because as you're saying more and more, I'm like, I don't remember this, and I'm thinking maybe I'm dumb.
Let's go down the paths. I told the truth to Stan.
Same.
I didn't attempt suicide.
Same.
I earned money honestly.
Same.
No, you didn't, though.
I said that. I wrote that. Okay, so in my notes it literally says, earned money honestly, although I did steal from the paper dispenser.
I beat the thugs.
Beat the thugs.
I had cold dinner because I didn't have enough money.
I got enough money. Hot dinner, sincere. Oh, so got enough money, hot dinner.
I was sincere about Iden.
Sincere, but same.
I helped the homeless after dinner.
Did not help everyone after dinner.
Oh, I did.
I
didn't help Walter, though.
That might be why I didn't see what happened to all of them.
I escaped the building.
Tips logo. Did not escape the building.
I saved everyone from the fire.
Yes.
And I learned the fate of the thugs.
Didn't learn the fate of the thugs.
Interesting.
Okay, so we had pretty different experiences on this one, because that was, You were talking about that, and I was really like, I was pretty sure it just ended.
There was like flowers, and I saw like Jimmy brought me flowers or something, and like
that
and they were like, hey, like, how's it going? I know you can't hear me, but I'm talking to you because you've helped us so much. We love you, Jody. And I was just like, I feel like, yeah. So I've been homeless. Some crazy bitch came in. She was like fucking passed out for like 2 weeks, and then like and then this other woman had a fucking baby, and then like this girl almost died in a fire, and I hadn't seen her since then. I'm still homeless because what changed?
Yeah, because literally nothing's changed.
But
she got $10 that one day.
Somehow everyone's doing great.
My life's back together. Well, I think some of it, when you have like the moment with Stan, there's like this moment where it seems like Stan is kind of homeless by choice.
Yeah, she was like, you need to get a job.
You need to go back to work. Yeah, as though like the job's waiting for him. You know what I mean?
That bothered me. I was like, this guy has been homeless for 2 years because he just chose to not go to work because he's sad about his wife dying.
Yeah.
Like, sure, I get it. That's got to be heartbreaking.
Yeah.
In a way that will probably stick with you until you die.
Miss a couple mortgage payments, you know what I mean? Like, get a debt collector on your ass.
I don't know.
But like...
You just give up on everything?
Yeah.
And then go, no, I'm going to fix it. And also everyone else is good too.
But like, give up on everything to put yourself in a scenario where you now have to put more effort into just getting through every day. Yeah. Which may be the thing that distracts you from the sadness, you know what I mean? But I don't fucking know, man. That sounded dumb to me too, though. It upset me. It was annoying when they was like, go back. I was like, is there a job waiting for you? So maybe he helped them. Maybe he decided to turn his life around and then helped everybody else.
So Jimmy kicked the drugs?
I mean, you can be a high-functioning drug addict.
Can you go from shooting up under a bridge to now I'm good? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I think there's people that do it. In
the amount of time it takes somebody to just get over
all four of these people fix their situations in a matter of weeks or months.
Yeah,
I don't know. How long was the coma? Sluggo, what are you eating off the floor? I don't even know what there is here. I just vacuumed in here. He's mesmerized by it. I was just like, wow, that's really putting a tidy little bow on this whole situation.
You can imagine that like maybe Tuesday is just literally trying to find like a battered woman's shelter. You know what I mean? We don't know how long she's been.
She could have just gone to the shelter immediately.
Yeah, she could have done that immediately. Yeah. I mean, that is the first place your abusive ex-boyfriend might look for you.
Sure.
But they're also not going to let her in because it's a battered woman's shelter.
You have a fucking baby.
Yeah, you're pregnant as fuck.
And she's like super pregnant. She's so pregnant that the day you meet her, she pops. You know? Uh-huh. It's like...
Yeah, that was... Yeah. It's really, if anything, I'd
maybe
hate
she's just a fucking idiot.
Really, I'd hate this homeless woman because my life was going okay. I had a thing going under this bridge that's all right. I mean, I'm homeless. Life's not going great, but this homeless life is going okay. It's not cold here. You know what I mean? We're getting food every now and then.
Got a thick book collection.
And then the one day this girl shows up, suddenly, you know what I mean? One guy almost gets beat to death, you know? And maybe does in some of the scenarios when you don't win the fight. This woman gives birth and has a baby. You know what I mean? You've got to waste resources on her for 2 weeks. and then the whole fucking place burns down. You know what I mean? Like a different place, but still, and then you have to deal with I don't know. It feels like a very calamitous day. And as a homeless person, I would blame all of it on the one person who was new.
Since I didn't get the camera or the alarm system or whatever, there was an alarm system. That's why I didn't turn off.
Oh, okay.
Something
No, but
happened.
the alarm system was the camera. Because when I deactivated the camera, it was like, alarm system's off. And I was like, no, it's not.
I thought I got everything, and I didn't, and then as soon as I exited, it was like, alarm. And it's like, great, the cops are coming now.
Yeah. Well, I almost fucked it up, because before I deactivated the camera, I went to go in, and she goes, wait, did I get everything?
I know. And that's why I fucking thoroughly searched, couldn't find it. But also, like, so what? You just fucking, the owners of the grocery store come the next day, and it's like, great, the store's just been left open all night?
Well, yeah, the other thing is you just leave the gate open.
Yeah.
So that, like, everything in there can freeze and raccoons can get in there, you know what I mean?
Fucked.
And, like, yeah, other homeless people can come in.
Well,
yeah, and there nobody got, yeah, I don't know, fucking A, man. I mean, you also have
pretty bad writing.
Yeah. Overall, pretty bad rating. Well, that's the game.
Well, we'll continue this discussion in the next episode. Hopefully this is just a two-parter. I can see it being a three-parter if we don't.
I feel like it'll be two.
I feel like it will be, but man, this is a dense game.
It'll be 2 sessions. It might not be two parts.
All right. Hey, if you like this, check out the other ones. There's many more episodes on many other games, including Heavy Rain. It's just a cat. Yes, goodbye.